Guys, let's get back to discussing threesomes, foursomes, and more, please. That's from Keisha Gray's dental hygienist. Tim, getting married this weekend. Any advice? That's from Evil David Letterman fan, our intern for 2 days. Doug, you were asked by Cucky the Dwarf for parenting tips last night, and all you had was pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Now you're getting a tip on marriage. Any advice for the Evil David Letterman fan? What a wonderful intern.
Well, before he does it, we'd like to see a picture.
That's right. That helps us.
We could say, full speed ahead, go for it, or you might want to rethink it.
So just based on a picture, this woman could be the most beautiful on the inside, the nicest person, charitable, kind-hearted. But if she doesn't look good in a picture, you say don't do it.
Well, yeah, I think you're going to want to pause for just a moment, maybe.
So all you care about is what a woman looks like physically.
For somebody else's marriage,
It's very superficial of you.
Well, I think so.
You think your wife thinks you're attractive?
What? No. What sort of advice is he looking for from us? We don't even know him. We don't even know her.
I guess we can take his call and maybe get into it more.
But this show's kind of like Loveline.
It is. Dr. Drew.
It is. Like people want tips on their relationships from people like us who score so much.
You think so?
Greg is hot anyway.
Well, I appreciate that, Jackie. Boy, I miss that Jackie Jag.
The old clogged hole situation.
She had no holes. She came out and admitted on this program that she had no holes.
I hate to say this.
Right, there it is.
But she's been away from the show so long that I feel like something bad happened.
Probably.
Take a look at this. Tim, me and the leggy architect, Italian-American wife, by the way. And then there's so many damn pictures get sent in that I lose track of it. Either way, she was pretty good looking.
Well, there's some pictures on there we ought not see.
I have to say, I'm legitimately stunned.
I am too, if these are really the listeners.
Now, there's you in a wedding dress with a burly gentleman.
Yeah. See, that was Photoshopped. All these might be Photoshopped.
So you've never been in a wedding dress?
What was that? Why? You think I would have married Dave Green?
Better than Dave Green.
It looks just like Dave Green.
Looks a little bit like Dave Green. But it's
Jim
actually...
the Cat Hayes having action with Doug Vaughn.
Knock it off, Frank.
Yeah, here it is, Frank. Doug, Frank, nurse. Look at that.
I just don't get it.
Look at that. Philly Mike doing well.
I'm logging into the text line right now.
Yeah, you got to see what's doing.
I feel left out on the other side of the table here.
In the world.
What's going on?
I did not see this coming.
I know. Are you going to look at our listeners a little bit differently now?
I might.
But how come when we go to any event, they're all by themselves?
Well, the significant other wants nothing to do with this.
I do like the picture of somebody saying, me and my woman, and it's two giraffes humping.
Well, that part's disappointing. So now everyone is sending in a picture of themselves with their significant other. Is that what you're saying?
And now trending TMA hot significant others on Twitter. This is odd. Man, I didn't know it. I knew our audience was wealthy, but I thought a lot of it was trust fund. But now, I know our audience balls so hard. You can't get around that Mark McGuire picture.
No, as fast as I try to get off of it.
That's the thing that Tony Messenger saw in the first 2 minutes of his segment. And
man, this is hot. Someone sends in a picture of a policeman being raped by his horse.
I saw that.
That's awful. Awful.
Wow. Some of these pictures and some of these captions.
I shave only my left nutsack if the Cards win.
Who's that?
Ruined Tony Messenger.
Tony
Ruined
Messenger.
Him. Yep.
Political and Metro columnist for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Comes in, wants to talk about his Denver Broncos winning the Super Bowl the day before, and a gentleman sends that in.
My stepdad and I used to paint each other's chest.
I hope he was reading and not telling stories of his own personal life. But see, these drops are taken out of context. You never know. That's what's ruined me in the community. We don't have enough male strippers in St. Louis. See, they're just like that one.
Some of these pictures, I'll tell you what.
Caller Jordan texting in. Been a while since you called in. The water's warm.
Now, is that what she's saying, or is that what you're saying to her?
That's what she wrote.
Doggone it, here's yet another guy, just a biggest Hoosier boy you could imagine, and his girlfriend is very attractive.
Plowboy, how do you explain this phenomenon? Because you are really our ambassador. How do you explain this?
Well, I'm actually not as surprised because I meet the listeners all the time out and about, and they are, normal, non-prisoners. So I'm not surprised that these are 20-year-olds. And Charlie sees something funny, I think.
Oh, God.
Is it that poor police officer
I
again?
just saw the McGuire picture. Jeez, oh, Pete. But also, like this picture, there's a picture of a woman smiling in a wedding dress. It's clearly from, like, a bridal magazine.
Right. He claims that's his, that's his lady. Sure it is.
Doug, there's a whole thing going on here.
I know. And it's distracted us to the point we can't continue with the program.
Well, you think the Warriors will break the Bulls record?
And you'd like Charlie's underwear.
Somebody's dating a former Miss Missouri?
Who is that?
Didn't say his name.
Could that be Cucky?
That Cuggy was married with 2 kids.
Oh.
Tawny's sending him pictures of herself now. We know her. Oh, that's the white-collar gangster. Charlie said we were a cute couple yesterday.
They are. I like both of them. They're good kids.
They're hard workers.
They are. This Richard guy, he needs to stop. He just keeps sending the same Mark McGuire picture.
By addressing it, all you've done is pour gasoline upon the fire.
Doggone it.
He's already sent it 8 times.
King V. Hoosier man. Beautiful significant other. What in the world is going on?
I think King V was the one who wanted the Bull or the Apache to do something to his wife at the Christmas, I apologize, holiday party.
Yeah.
Mr. Samey is shared by me and the Apache.
Charlie, there's a thing going on where our listeners are sleeping with each other.
Color me perplexed.
I love somebody sends in the picture of DeAndre Jordan with a wig on from that the Hoopers commercial for the NBA.
So one of our listeners is banging DeAndre Jordan?
Apparently. Oh. This is good radio, though.
Yeah, I have to tell you, I'm legitimately fascinated.
I am too. Here's one of a guy.
I'm enjoying the show.
Here's one of a guy who looks like a frustrated member of the Three Musketeers, and yet he's with a statuesque redhead.
He is. Is that April Hendrickson?
I don't know.
Hendricks? George Hendrick? Silent George? Nurse?
I don't know. I just don't get it. But get another one. This guy. Look at him, and look at the girl he's with. What in the world's going on?
This show helps people bang hot broads.
Clearly
of these
it does.
pictures.
That's Keisha Gray's dental hygienist.
I don't get it.
You have a guy who sends in a picture of just like 10 smoking hot college girls, like he's dating all of them.
I think these guys are such sociopaths that they'll just say anything to any girl, and sooner or later, one of them bites on it.
A picture of Webster, Emmanuel Lewis.
Doug, he was the son of Ma'am.
Okay.
Oh,
Of course,
good for
George
these guys, though.
Papadopoulos.
Seriously.
Was her real name Ma'am Papadopoulos?
I don't know.
You want to get back to the pictures?
Yes, if I could. I just don't get it.
I'm proud of our listeners.
Now, here's a couple sharing a double-sided dildo.
Well, who sent that in, Tim?
Let's see what I got on that. They're coming in too fast and furious.
I think it was a banana.
That's sick. I'm thinking of Rennie right now.
Guys, who is the board op? He is the best at drops since the late, great Stedman. A, Stedman has not passed away, and B, it's Kyle. Kyle, you're having a
Show
big day.
me on the doll where the twink touched you.
Thank you, guys.
See, so many have been taken out of context.
And there's Tawny.
Yeah, white collar gangsters really send in a lot of pictures. Mm-hmm. But Charlie encourages it, says they're a cute couple.
I just think they're good people. I like to see good people doing well, Doug.
Yeah.
Succeeding.
I know, me too.
Here's Kanye West with Kim Jong-un in a wedding dress. Hot. Very hot.
Here's our swinger friends, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's a guy in a diaper by himself in a parking lot.
That's the picture refreshing.
No. This is wonderful. This is great radio. We should just give out the login to the text inbox. How much would that go over on the fan page?
We've gotten away from being the swingers bulletin board.
Yeah, we haven't given out many stock tips either.
No.
When were pictures allowed to be sent on the text line? Just in the last couple of years, right?
It's a new text service that the radio station got, not us. I'm all for it. But sometimes they get sent in over the weekends when it's not inside STL programming, and it catches some of the reverends off guard.
Some of the reverends. Some of the men of the cloth.
I always think it's funny, too, like, on a day, Tim, that you're not in. So I'll have the text line up on my iPad, and then I'll go home without closing out all the, the windows. So then randomly, like a couple hours later, I'll take a nap, and I'll open up my iPad, and the text line is still there. And you'll kind of see, like, the end of the morning after text, and then it kind of bleeds into Frank's show. But it goes right from, like, Cucky the Dwarf text to, like, a hot take on, like, SIUE basketball.
Yeah, there's an audience shift at around 10. Mm-hmm. And you can tell when Frank, like, when Hoffman, like, they can't reach a guest, and you can tell Frank's kind of killing time. And so his out is he goes to the text inbox, but unfortunately some of our listeners are still sending crap in. And he goes, oh, can't read that one.
Looks like gay porn here.
So it catches him off guard.
It's just a naked guy lying in his bed, I think.
Now, Dave, the pipe layer, has his wife pinned up against the deck.
Oh, don't need to see that, Dave.
God bless America. Who takes these pictures of you people?
And shares them publicly. One of the reasons we can't make it big is we spent most of this hour simply looking at pictures.
Our listeners are sending in pictures of their significant others for us to judge.
But they don't give us their names so that we can give them the shout-out.
Are there any other sports talk shows in the market where the listeners sleep with each other? Does that happen like on Wheeler's show?
I doubt it.
I don't know about locally.
Nationally,
Mike and Mike.
big.
I would love to just see, like, a lot of our listeners as they're listening to this show, and then if their wives or girlfriends kind of, like, walk in the room and just hear the drivel.
What do you mean by drivel?
This.
Or discover that their picture has been sent in. I don't get it. It's one picture after the
Look, there's
next.
Caller Adam. Look at Caller Adam.
Yeah. He and his wife went to the same optometrist. They have identical glasses.
You have a problem with that?
Well, no, I guess 2-for-1 special, maybe.
Times are tight in Wentzville.
It's a BOGO.
And here's a gentleman who looks like he got kicked in the head by a horse, and his blonde significant other couldn't be more beautiful.
You must broker time.
Yes. I just don't get it. I'll be up front with you, so I don't get it.
But you have to now view the audience differently. Because now you
Yes,
know
a little more respect for them, yeah.
that these guys who want to sleep with you at least have beautiful women at home.
I mean, that guy...
There's no way that's
kicked
real.
in the side of the head
There's
by a
no
horse.
way that's real.
I don't know.
Somebody went to Google and typed in hot girls
one after
with
the
ugly
next.
dudes.
I guess so. It's one after the next.
She has a real big boob.
I don't get it.
It's been a fun segment, though.
I didn't see this coming, Tim.
I'm proud of our listeners. They're all grown up, and they're all grown up.
I guess. Ladies' men, every last one of them.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:09 in St. Louis. You are listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 HD2 FM. The Potted Plant, TMASTL.com, YouTube.com/TMASTL, and, of course, the all-new The Morning After STL app, which you can download from the App Store and enjoy. And you got the video, the audio, the archives. The archives go back years now on TMASTL and on the app, yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
And there was a... Jackson, were you in the email where Jeremy said that there were like 9 months missing?
Yeah.
You know who I reached out to? Take a guess.
Buck Swope.
You're damn right I did, Jack. And Buck Swope goes, oh, here's where you can find this year, and here's where you can find that year.
Where does he find this stuff?
Buck Swope is the best in the business.
Is it just on the internet, the dark web somewhere? Where does he get it?
He records, I do believe, every show, and I'm sure he has an algorithm by now to where a keyword search comes into play.
He records the shows.
A big segment happens. I'm sure he's able to type in a keyword like tuna fish Vaughn or something like that.
I don't
and
eat
then
that
that
much tuna
segment
fish.
pops up. Because our show notes as well are very detailed by all of our great producers that we have and have had on this show. And so there's always that key word that you can type in to try to find the segment. That's why he's so good.
So every day he records 3 hours of this
I'm pretty sure.
onto his home computer.
I don't know about that, because we do that.
Well, how else would he come up with
I would
all this
assume he
stuff?
downloads and saves every segment to his computer.
That is probably a possibility.
Doesn't he have his own YouTube channel that has a lot of our stuff on there?
I don't know.
I thought I saw somebody post the other day and go to Swope's YouTube page and find it.
Huh. I don't know.
He's great.
Well, either way, the point being that I said to these fine gentlemen, the ones who built the website and built the app in a matter of, for real, the website was 2 weeks, the app was about a month. And I said, do you mind if I forward this email to a gentleman by the name of Buck Swope? Because I have a feeling he's going to be able to answer the question. And they said, no, if he has the answers to where the 9 months or 13 months or whatever it is from like 9 years ago are, then great. Because they're already familiar with Swope's picks. And who isn't a fan of Swope's picks? Find me somebody.
There isn't a person.
Right.
M&M is a Buck Swope joint.
There's a sponsor.
I wonder when we first told them that if they're like, you guys are going to have a podcast from Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle played the role of Buck Swope in Boogie Nights. What year was Boogie Nights? 97?
I don't
to say
know the
96.
years. I don't know the years, Tim.
Honestly, I went in watching that movie, thought it was like a 70s disco type movie.
97.
Within 5
Don't
minutes.
go up against me.
And it was great. I actually really loved it. The characters, just...
Paul Thomas Anderson, baby.
It was good.
What about the
It's
Colonel?
creepy and it's-
What about the Colonel?
Creepy as the days long.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that Burt Reynolds? Was he the Colonel?
No, the Colonel was the financial guy who made the films possible.
Oh.
Who was the blonde-haired? He is actually R.I.P., no longer with us.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Played the role of Art Howe.
God, he's so
Moneyball.
good in like every movie he is in.
Yeah.
He was so good in that.
Yeah. One of the greatest character actors of our lifetime.
And William C. Macy, is that his name?
H.
William H. Macy.
Got
C or
cucked
H.
many times.
So that was a cuck.
He was definitely a cuck.
And John C.
I
Riley.
recognize that, and I didn't even have a definition.
Was John C. Riley in that as well?
Yeah, he
Okay.
played, what's the name of his character? Reed Rothschild.
How could you remember that?
Jackson has a website. It's called goodorbad.com.
Boogie Nights is one of the greatest films.
Is that and then Mount Rushmore of greatest films?
No, not Mount
What's
Rushmore.
your Mount Rushmore of greatest films? Maybe this will help investors.
Boy, that's a loaded question.
Why?
Why, Doug? I thought it was a fair question.
I did too.
I'll get into the Dear Deidre lesbian thing in a moment because I see you've moved that to the top of the links to make sure it was read today.
Yeah,
Shawshank and A Time to Kill, I think, is definitely on there for me.
I've never seen The Time to Kill.
Godfather's on there.
Yeah.
Godfather's on there, absolutely.
I'll go Django's on there for me.
Wizard of Oz has to be on there.
Not for me.
See, I like Saving Private Ryan. I love wartime
I like
movies.
that
love me
too.
some Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
I know that's
Tom Hanks.
cliche, but Tom Hanks.
But if you're talking about all-time great movies, something that's
I'll
held
say
up for almost a
Saving
century.
Private Ryan's up there. I mean,
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Doug?
It is a great movie. Mount Rushmore, if you're only talking about the best 4 movies of all time, I don't think it gets up there.
Gone Baby Gone is one of my
What the
favorites.
hell is that?
Is that with Ben Affleck?
Casey.
Casey Affleck.
I don't know.
My friend John Ashton was in that.
Your friend. Son of a
He was in Little Big League, too.
Yeah, I never saw the ending coming to that.
I think Jackson's named 9 films.
Only 2 of them so far.
Well,
honestly.
Godfather and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's
Yeah, that's,
okay.
that's 2.
Well, Dakota has a lot of room out there. They can do some more
Talking about
carvings.
pension?
No, they can do some more
Oh.
carvings on the Mount Rushmore.
I'll say Goodfellas.
Well, Doug, you're dismissing all of our picks. I'd like to hear maybe a couple that you would put on
I'm not dismissing it. Saving Private Ryan would be on my Mount Rushmore. Also.
Thank you. Okay, I thought you disagreed. Okay.
You guys are bonding now. This is wonderful.
Yeah, I thought that was just outstanding.
Well, Godfather 1, Godfather 2 is on mine.
Yeah.
But are those
So
separate?
both of them.
Probably Goodfellas would be 3.
We have a similar list, Eggs.
Well,
And then-
maybe you could be part of goodorbad.com, Iggy.
Well, my favorite movie of all time, and a lot of people have never heard of it, The Pope of Greenwich Village.
I've heard of it.
With a young Mickey Rourke, a young Eric Roberts, a young Hannah, what's her name from?
Montana.
Hannah
No.
Montana, Miley Cyrus.
No, who's the girl from Splash?
Daryl Hannah.
Daryl Hannah.
Married to Neil Young now, Doug. Did you know that?
Is that right? No.
Yeah, great underrated movie. I liked it.
Man, I'm having trouble coming up with the
I
fourth.
might pull more money out of goodorbad.com. I'm just concerned if the owner and proprietor, our managing member, can't give a Mount Rushmore of the greatest films.
I'll say Django. I'll say Django's on my fourth.
I think in order to stay in good standing with his friends in Hollywood, Jackson doesn't want to dismiss any other movies.
So this is a political play.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I get it.
Text via the app. I forgot. Cool Hand Luke is a very
Paul
good
Newman.
play. Oh,
Don't say play. Oh.
it is.
Paul Newman's and
It was
Butch
like a
Cassidy.
play. It was a movie.
That was good. I don't know if it makes a Mount Rushmore. That's a tough one. It's a great movie.
Guys, according to the IMDb all-time rankings, the 4 would be Shawshank, Godfather, The Dark Knight, and Godfather Part 2.
Dark Knight shouldn't be on there.
I got 2 of them.
Isn't that just one guy picking?
Yeah, his name's IMDb.
Okay.
International Movie Database, bro.
I mean, The Dark Knight was stellar.
It's good. It's on the 21st century.
You notice
Mount
no
Rushmore.
comedies. You know, like, comedies are great, but they don't feel like they...
I think Animal
was
House
sick.
was the best comedy of all time. Airplane was awfully good.
I like Fletch.
Guys, why are you overlooking the timeless classic Mannequin 2? Iggy, wasn't your friend in... was he in Mannequin 2 or just in Mannequin?
Who's that?
Your friend from Brentwood.
Oh, Brucey Young?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's been in 100 movies.
Doug, was he in both Mannequins or just Mannequin?
He was in Risky
been in
Business. He played
hundreds,
the
I know.
transvestite hooker.
Oh, did he?
Well, it did not get the ratings you would expect.
Brucey Young didn't, or Mannequin 2?
Mannequin 2.
That sounds terrible.
But wasn't it nominated for a Golden Globe?
Well, what isn't?
I think it was. Screenplay, anyway.
Now, I was on HBO Max last night just trying to find something to watch. And I go into the movies in the hub section. You can just go movies A through Z. Counting the cartoons, the animation, there were 58 Batman selections. 58.
Why? We can't get enough of Batman in this country. I don't get it.
New one coming out this year.
He's
I
a
mean, my
vigilante hero,
goodness.
Doug. I mean,
I
that
don't
kind of
get it.
speaks for...
All those comic book type movies, they just do nothing for me. I know they're very popular, but they do nothing for me.
You kind of have to be a fan of, you know, superheroes, comic books, the actors in which they play them.
Yeah.
You can't go in there just watching like the third Iron Man and expect to enjoy it because you're going to be confused as hell.
Right.
So the problem with that is if you do want to start, you have about 32 movies you got to watch before you can
Not
catch
doing
up.
that.
Come on in. The water is warm. You can text in the EDF text inbox, Engineered Design Facilities, sponsor of our text inbox here. 314-881-TMA5, 314-881-8625. Save it in your phone, and the next thing you know, you are texting in and communicating with the radio show. Call in. We heard from caller Adam and Tom from Salt and Smoke yesterday. 636-900-4TMA. 636-900-4TMA. And, of course, you can email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com, Design Air online at DesignAirService.com, the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. And they keep us oh so snug in our homes. Doug is a client. I'm a client. Say, friends, why don't you become a client? And if you have any furnace issues today or over the weekend with the temperature of 6 right now, make sure you go to DesignAirService.com, and the great Seth Goldcamp and his staff will take wonderful care of you really quickly. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After, and the sponsor, our email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Coming up on the Captain's Log today, well, Doug, look who is going to join us.
Who?
Lisa Ann.
Oh, okay.
Making her first appearance on St. Louis HD2 Radio.
All right, that's wonderful.
Yep.
Hopefully she can get through on the Comrex.
Well,
nobody knows more football than Lisa Ann. I can hope that we can keep the questions to football related.
I think the texters will send in two-part questions.
They shouldn't.
And if you want to interact with the listeners like in a live chat format, you can watch us. We are all dressed like boy sluts today, so you can see how hot we look and decide which one you want to use. But you can chat in the YouTube chat. It's youtube.com/TMASTL. And, Doug, we have more than 3,100 subscribers now to the YouTube page that's been up for 3 weeks. How do you do?
That's nice.
Yep.
That's nice. People actually watching a little bit on YouTube.
And then you can go back and you watch the show if you want, even if you didn't watch it live. And then Jackson and the Plowhawk put clips together.
Do they?
And those are up for your enjoyment. So subscribe to the YouTube page, youtube.com/TMASTL, and we're up there. And then people just sit there and they and they chat. They're giving their own Mount Rushmores as we speak. Let's see. Can you imagine Doug trying to understand the multiverse? Brad wrote.
Huh. Good point. Good point. I don't understand some of the cartoons. Is that what it is? Is that a cartoon also? Superhero?
Yeah, it's a superhero thing, not cartoons. But
Okay.
superhero.
Yeah.
That's what's going on in the chat, Doug, if you want to go in and talk it over.
Not my thing.
So there it is. There are all the places you can access the show. You know that Dan Henschel? You know him, Iggy, don't you?
Great family.
Yeah, you're a fan of the
Old
family. He was going, hey, I haven't figured out how to... He texted me... God, I was already asleep, and this was only 10:10. He hasn't been able to find out how to listen to the station yet, so he hasn't been listening. I'm like, well, I mean...
It's all over the fan page. We posted the links everywhere.
A portion of the audience.
Well, he's on there, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's necessarily active. But either way, the point being, for those of you who... there are a number of places in the app, I would say, would probably be the easiest if you do not have HD radio. But I think most people have it, just don't realize they have it.
Yeah.
And then once you find it, and then you hit it on your preset, it's just like having, 101 or K-Sheep programmed in your car. You just click around and you got it. And plus, it's TMA all day, so you're listening to the show and best of shows all day. And I'm telling you, how many segments, Plowhawk, have you and Jackson now carved up, boy? How many have you carved into your
I couldn't put a
landing
number on. We do have an Excel spreadsheet, and what's great about
Doug,
me...
do you have the spreadsheet up?
I don't have it up right now.
What's great about Jackson and myself is we have not worked together but 3 weeks. So, you felt like there would be some hiccups. Not at all. We have edited probably, I would say, 75 hours maybe of content, and we have only duplicated one. We've only edited the same thing.
Wow.
That's how, we're just...
You're in
it's a good
sync.
flow. We're definitely in sync. So, yeah, we've probably done, I would say, 70 to 75. Jackson can...
I'd say probably a little bit more than that.
Okay. I wanted to lowball it. Didn't
No,
wanna
that's the
kind of humble
fly.
brag. But
No, it's probably, I think it's 3 digits by now.
Doug, 3 digits. Think about that.
And they're all bangers, Doug.
Some serious bangers are in there. Ooh.
Let me run this by Tim.
All right. Doug, I am taking questions. You will not be taking questions this morning.
I was going to come to the golf meeting yesterday, and then I thought to myself, you know what? I haven't been in the other ones. So if I come into this one and I say,
now, just for this to set the stage for the audience who may not be familiar, we had a meeting at 11 right after Balloon Party for the Dotem. The second meeting on the Dotem, Doug. A little different situation than the way it was handled in 2021.
We were already 2 meetings ahead.
Well, hot dog stands, they don't grow on trees.
I stood up in the meeting in the boardroom yesterday, and I said, listen, if money isn't going to a hot dog stand,
you're out.
I'm out. I have an out in my contract. It's called the hot dog clause.
And I do believe if we have money for charity, we'll get there within 4 months.
I do believe in charity.
But I was sitting here with Plows, and I said, you know what? I didn't know how many you had.
No,
I figured you had 4 or 5 already.
Yeah, I thought
I said,
4 or 5 what?
Meetings.
Oh.
And I said, I haven't been to any of the golf meetings they've had for the Dotem. And I said, I don't want to say, hey, I got this idea. Well, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
What about this? We already talked about that.
Covered it.
So I didn't want to go in there and just not know what's going on. You guys know if you need anything, you call me.
You guys got it covered.
But I was thinking some ideas, because I know that I'm going to do an interview Monday with Eric Bischoff for the YouTube channel, just so that we have different stuff up there.
Just a chit-chat with him.
And I said, what can we do that would, be interesting?
What's going on?
And I thought of Meet the Hubbard family.
Meet the Hubbards.
And we do interviews with all the different hosts of the
You gonna
shows
fly him to Minneapolis?
on Hubbard. Lux, Learn, U-Man, Favaz, Patrico, Fandango, Riz, Burton, Courtney, Kelly, all the hosts of the shows, not in the morning, but afternoons, and just meet the Hubbards. We just do different interviews.
I think it's wonderful. Is this like Iggy's Treehouse? Are you bringing it back?
No. Just, it doesn't even have to be me.
Cross-promotion.
But I was thinking, if we just got all the different
I think
hosts,
maybe it could be the foundation for Pepper and Jeannie.
Oh, Nellie's home.
I think it'd be fun.
I think it's a great idea.
And then all of our listeners get to meet all the great co-hosts we get to work with.
It's a good idea.
You want to try to steer them off of this show and onto better programs?
They've already done that.
Okay. So you want to invite them all out there for the golf tournament so they can meet?
I'm not inviting anybody.
Guys, I'm already calling out exactly what Meet the Hubbards is. It's Iggy with a reason to have Learn in studio. Thanks.
Yeah, that's
from Dan in Wentzville.
That's just it. If I wanted to stay,
He's playing the long game.
if I wanted to stay here later, I could see Learn every day.
Oh, man.
She's
Well,
a
how would she
coworker.
feel
She's a
about
coworker now. I mentioned learning about 9 other people. Randy Carricker, Smallman, Michelle Smallman, Brad Thompson, everybody who works on all the
What about
stations. I mentioned Learn. Well, I mentioned Learn first,
Okay.
but it was just an idea.
I think it's a nice idea.
Meet the Hubbards.
Well, I think it's a wonderful idea. You can absolutely do it. I mean, this studio is basically open, so I think it'd be one. I mean, you and the Plowhawk could be doing Pepper and Jeannie.
Dude, we would have that would be great. I think we have
Well,
a lot of
let's
content that.
Talk it over with the powers that be, and if we call it that, it could be me and Plowsy. Meet the Hubbards, featuring Pepper and Jeannie.
Wow, Doug.
Oh,
Me and Iggy
Are
were
you going to invest
cheap.
in that, or are you going to invest in goodorbad.com?
We
I don't
already
have
have a-
money to invest in any of it.
Well, Pepper and Jeannie already has T-shirt.
Have they?
So we
Yeah, that's
we have
true.
that
Marketing. Are those available at InsideSTLShop.com, Jackson, or are those all gone?
Sold out. I sold my last Triple X like a couple months ago.
That's not surprising.
And how about this? For those of you who haven't, maybe you've downloaded the app, the morning after STL.com, but you may see there is a listener rewards tab. And so what they're going to do, this is one of the things we covered in that meeting yesterday, Iggy. Tommy Mattern, head of programming here at Hubbard St. Louis, said, why don't you guys bring in some merch? I'll sign it, I'll sign it, so Jackson brought in some today. And then they're going to give away concert tickets. And the concert tickets that, they're going to be giving away for listener rewards.
They're good concerts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're
That's
not
no joke.
It's not the Kiss knockoff band that you
Los
can
Lonely Boys?
buy 500 tickets in front of 7-Eleven.
Remember the time when we gave away tickets to concerts and you could pick them up free at one of the gas
That
stations?
station was like 7-Eleven and like Motomart had like
It's like
a
you and Niggy are
stack.
playing Jeopardy. That's
I think
exactly right.
I think that was the Kiss
It
knockoff
was.
band.
They called Almost Kiss.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
I don't need those. I picked them up at 7-Eleven yesterday. They were right there on the counter.
Yeah.
No, but there's a lot of, whether it be The Point or whether it be WAL or whether it be K-She, they're presented. A lot of these bands come in. K-She presents. And the Point Fest, I'm looking forward to the Point Fest. You know who's playing the Point Fest this year?
Lizzie Hale.
Lizzie Hale.
Lizzie
Hailstorm.
Hale. Right when I saw that, and I was sitting there BSing with Tommy, and he said, we're announcing Point Fest today or tomorrow, or whatever it was. And I saw Hailstorm. I go, I got to tell you, Iggy really likes Lizzie Hale.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I thought when you saw that, you'd be excited.
Maybe
I saw
if
that.
they can
Papa Roach
present-
I like too,
if
but
they can
big
present
Hailstorm fan.
concerts, maybe we could present like the Stanley Cup or something.
That we should.
You know what else?
I think that's kind of understood.
You know what else I thought the other day? When I saw that the Point Fest was announced, and it was 105.7 The Point Fest, presented by The Point. Such and such, K-She presents, coming to the Scott Trade or whatever. Hubbard does a lot of concerts. The morning after presents Los Lonely Boys.
Wow.
Potted Plant Fest.
Did you say this would be held at Enterprise?
They won't know. I mean, a lot of the concerts K-She brings in is huge venues, but we could say, the morning after presents Los Lonely Boys at Golden Corral or wherever.
I would say
Banks of
that's
the
a
River de Pere.
perfect
Not a bad idea.
location.
Iggy's patio. Set up a couple of stacks out on my patio on the lawn and just
Load it up.
Golden Corral couldn't be a more perfect location.
see. You think I just sit at home and do nothing? My mind is always stewing.
Ideas. Doug, the ideas are there. The execution is the process that we're looking forward to.
That's a different story.
Well, you executed some great salmon yesterday. I took that home.
And you did not reheat it here at the
Now
station.
now my house smells like fish, which seems unfair to me.
It should be your work environment.
Yeah,
It was good, wasn't
It was very good. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Iggy can flat out cook some
Sorry.
fish.
So anyway, sign up on the app, and we really will have listener rewards. And on top of that, there's going to be actually prizes for winning the email of the month.
What are those?
Huh?
I believe we're talking concert tickets.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Jackson, were you in the meeting yesterday or not? I can't remember. You were not. Okay.
Nope.
So anyway, and then the Dotem, we'll talk about it with Lisa Ann, May 19th and May 20th. Don't worry, it hasn't been opened up for registration yet. So 2 days. Lisa Ann will be coming in on Wednesday the 18th. We were texting about it last week. She's super excited about it. And then is going to stick around until Saturday. So Jennings and I have been talking about it, and Mike D, and he's in the place to be. Is that correct?
Yeah.
At Normandy?
Mikey.
So we'll be bringing it back to Normandy. I think that's where it belongs. It belongs on a Thursday and Friday. I don't think it belongs on a Monday and Tuesday with the money going to a hot dog stand. So the charity partner will be what it had been, which is Birdies for Bipolar, Michael Wellington's charity. Michael Wellington, a friend of the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Groves.
Does he know that, though?
Yeah, he texted me earlier this week. He goes, "It's so great to just drive around and be able to listen to the show anytime I want." So I'm like, he must have heard himself referenced by the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Groves if he's listening to TMA all day on 105.7 HD2. And you can do that on TMASTL.com, too, by the way.
I know this is a tough subject because we talk about...
Doug, we talk about the tough subjects here.
That's who we are. Yeah.
But and this just throws a lot of, more work for Jackson potentially. But like, I thought the ball markers, like the free Dotem ball markers, very easy to distribute. They sold pretty quickly. Are we going to have some that are like Hubbard related or like the new move related, like HD2 ones? Because I thought those are very easy to. People seem to enjoy having the free Dotem ball markers.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was something that we're going to do for a summer project. And that's more of a Jackson realm. I just didn't know if.
Well, it's a good question. I guess to give you an idea of kind of the mindset in the two meetings we've had on the Dotem, the idea of spending dollars to bring in people to play in addition to Lisa Ann. Lisa Ann, of course, would be
the headliner.
The headliner. One person said, "Well, I think trying to get John Daly in would be great." So we were that's kind of the idea of where we're starting to try to bring it up. Now, that's not going to happen, to be clear. But Doug, you start at the top, and then you.
No.
Then you.
When do you do that?
Well, yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're looking forward to that. So this is Doug. This is kind of a save the date, May 19th and May 20th, the Dotem, and it will return. And I guess we really haven't done it since May of 2019. Would that be correct? Because we didn't do it in 2020 like we had done it with the pandemic.
No.
Last year was the hot dog edition.
Right.
And on a Monday and a Tuesday, which strategically I just don't know. But this one will be on a Thursday and Friday like it had been, and it'll be May 19th and May 20th. And then also we're setting a backup date in case the forecast is terrible or it's been raining for a week. Having options. So that's May 19th, May 20th. The Dotem returns to Normandy. Okay. How do you do?
Well, I'm fine.
And I'm guessing the prizes for the teams will be something better than a little something something.
Talking about prizes, I said there, everybody's going to be playing on eightsomes. We did that in May, and that actually worked. Remember that, Doug? We were in eightsomes.
Oh, that's the way to go.
Yeah. It really does work.
It wasn't bad.
Because then you don't have two foursomes on each hole waiting. You just all play, and then on top of it, theoretically, you could have people actually keeping a score.
It's a scramble, though, right?
Yeah, but the eightsome could collude, and then so. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I do find that the better prizes you give out, the more there's cheating, because they want to win those things.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, if you have each foursome keeping each other's score, they don't want to screw them. Hey, if I give them a 3, then I know they didn't get a 3, but it's going to screw everybody else. I think it'll be all right.
Let's see. You are welcome to text in. You're welcome to call in 636-9004-TMA. Doug, Marco Bertorelli has been sponsoring this show since 2007. He's the sponsor of Bertorelli Cutlery's Cuts of the Week, which are coming your way on the Captain's Log at 9:30, following Lisa Ann, who will join us at 9 o'clock. Does he have a cutlery store?
He does indeed.
Wow.
Chop Cheeky is their call sign. Yeah, it might be a new year and a new station for Bertorelli, but you know what hasn't changed is that Bertorelli Cutlery is still your family-owned and operated local knife authority in St. Louis. The Bertorellis are a Mount Rushmore quality sponsor. They've been around for many, many years. Great mom and pop. Support the little guy. Now, all kitchens have knives, and most household knives in need of work are either good knives that have dulled or bad knives in need of replacing. Bertorelli has you covered with their master knife sharpening and a wide variety of the best brands available. So swing down to the hill and visit them at 1927 Marconi Avenue, or give them a call. Here comes the number.
What?
314-664-4005. Or visit BertorelliCo.com to see all of their services. And don't forget, They have mask and PPE supplies available as well. And Marco says, yes, they can ship those anywhere in the country or the world, I guess. If you're not listening in St. Louis and you'd say, boy, I'd like to support Bertarelli Cutlery, well, you can. Hop on their website at bertarellico.com, and you can order all the PPE supplies. They've got masks. Boy, everybody needs masks again. They've got them all at Bertarelli, and they are happy to help you. That's Bertarelli Cutlery and Supply.
Coming up at 10:15, the great Jeremy Rutherford will be with us on Balloon Party. I opened up questions for JR last week when he joined us, and I read what people posted on the fan page, and Doug, they were legitimate questions.
Were they?
But the 101 audience did not like the TMA fan page's questions for Jeremy Rutherford, so now there's some tension there,
Well.
and they suggested that our listeners on TMA are, what's the word that I could use? Not smart, I suppose, is what they were saying in a way that
dumbass.
No, it was a word that isn't used as often as it was, say, 20 years ago. So you can post those or email them to me, and Jeremy Rutherford will be on at 10:15 on Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. Lisa Ann on this program at 9 o'clock, and you can ask two-part questions to Lisa Ann, too. That's the thing. It'll be fun. Those are two-part questions. She got a new book out.
And she texted me the other night and said, I need an address. I want to send all you guys my new book.
Sweet.
Huh.
So that'll be coming soon.
What's the book about? Fantasy football?
No, I think it's like her life part 2.
Oh.
The remix?
Okay. Well, that'd be interesting.
I'm looking forward to it. She's had an interesting life,
I would say.
That she has, yeah. Living in New York now?
Yeah.
Manhattan?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think she moved to Staten Island.
Don't know the address. She might be.
Yeah, she's in Hoboken.
Yeah, she moved back from Long Island.
Somebody texted in the link to this story, and I have a feeling I know why. College football coaches on the hot seat.
All right.
Is that an email we're getting when that goes off?
No, it's just every time, like literally anytime you make a movement on the computer, it meows.
College football coaches on the hot seat, conference by conference.
Oh, this is a hot take already.
Okay.
January.
And I guess I know why the gentleman wanted it to be read.
Want to start in the Southeastern Conference?
Well, we're going to start and stop in the Southeastern Conference. I don't think we're going to go conference by conference. Maybe I'll do that in Balloon Party. but they have hot seat, none. Keep an eye on Brian Harsin. Doug, he's at Auburn, and he's been there for, what, 6-7 years?
6 or 7. Yes, feels like that.
Well, he's been there 1. But I guess this is what it was about.
Okay.
I debated whether or not to include Eli Drinkwitz.
Oh, boy.
Who is 11-12, 8-10 in SEC play at Missouri, and he boasts some notable wins over LSU and Florida. But the 2021 season saw some turbulence with the staff and the roster. Missouri has a new athletic director in place, still barring a truly disastrous season this fall. Drinkwitz should be safe for 2023. So, Plowhawk, he is, according to ESPN.com, not on the hot seat.
Look, I give him grief, and I think it's kind of funny to bring up the Tennessee game, the comeback at against North Texas. But honestly, that's such a small sample size, man. Like, he is a great recruiter now. If he can develop that talent is yet to be seen. But you can't give a guy a year and a half, and now he has to win 9 games to keep his job.
Well, Harsin's been there a year, and they're already talking about him. And Sarkisian was listed in the Big 12 as the one that's on the hot seat there. And he's been in Austin for a year. I think that is such a even if Drinkwitz is absolutely just terrible as a head coach, I just think you have to give guys 4 years, unless you have off the field all hell breaking loose. That's not an absolute policy, but if it's strictly based on being, whatever the record is, I mean, because most of the wins are against teams that were crap. Whatever. It's about the process, and it's about building a program. Gary Pinkel, from the moment he got in there, he always would use the term program. It's about a program. So I think in order to really build a program, you have to let coaches know they're going to have time, especially at a place like Columbia, Missouri. Knoxville, Tennessee has been a disaster because they just keep going through coaches. So whether one believes in them or not, and we mock the Missouri fans, who have got a, Bear Bryant comparison going, but even if he's, a disaster, and they go 5-7 next year, which, unfortunately is possible, I'd like to see him get at least 2023.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they would let him go, barring a 2-10 season or something like that. The expectations are different at the Auburns and the Texas of the world. They expect to compete every year.
See, I like, for example, and I'm really kind of getting into the weeds on this, and I will get to the lesbian story Jackson sent me. But to me, Scott Frost at Nebraska, I'd be excited about that. Now, that sounds really weird and counterintuitive, but they were in every single game that they played. If I'm not mistaken, in the Big Ten. At the very least, I know that they had just as many points scored for them as scored against them. And to me, that's an indication, because win-loss records, if anything, from my standpoint, which might sound really strange, but with how teams schedule, you're basically handed 4 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So to go, well, they went to a bowl. Okay, then that means you beat 2 teams from your conference. Because if that's a good year, then we have different definitions of good. But are your teams in games against quality opponents? That's how and do you see progress year over year? Because you can schedule yourself to a 5 or 6 win season. And that, to me, is the difference. So, if anything, that is something that would be concerning from a Missouri standpoint. The game you like to talk about, the Plowhawk, the Tennessee game, the A&M game, most teams would get stomped by Georgia. So that isn't anything. But, circling LSU in 2020 and Florida in 2021 like it was some accomplishment from a brand name standpoint. It was. You asked there was fan bases, what they thought of their 2020 team and their 2021 team, and they'd go, oh, my God, they got their coaches fired. So that's something that I think is a misnomer. And like they're saying, well, Frost has to at least go to a bowl game in 2022 at Nebraska, or else he's going to get fired. I'm going, well, I mean, that means he has to win 2 games in the Big Ten, because they're going to schedule themselves to 3 or 4 right out of the gate. So I think the whole thing with the win-loss total, I get it, but how are your teams performing, and are your teams competing, and year over year are they improving, and how is recruiting running parallel to that? He's got the recruiting thing going. But as far as on the field goes, I don't know what game you would circle and go, well, that was the game where you go, man, I really didn't think they had a chance, and they shocked the world. I mean, is it Florida in 2021, the game that got Dan Mullen fired? Or is it LSU in 2020, the season that got Ed Orgeron fired? If that's the case, then... If
you lose to Missouri, if you're a big name program, you're in trouble.
Well, the one thing about Frost in Nebraska is they're in every game.
They're
not getting blown out by anybody. And
the roster's terrible.
And how good the Big Ten was this year. It's hard.
The issue for Nebraska fans, and that's what he's dealing with, is that when they think of good, they think of beating teams by 50 points like they did 20 years ago. But those days are over. Those days are over for almost everybody, with the exception of a couple of teams. So, with respect to, and I'm not looking to break down Nebraska football. My point being, from my standpoint, observing college football as much as I do, I actually see that improving from where it was. It hasn't necessarily turned around into losses, but the process is there. And if you put yourself in position to win games, 50% of the time, you will wind up winning them. He's been on the receiving end of some questionable calls. I couldn't care any less about Scott Frost. My point being, if Eli Drinkwitz in Missouri against, let's say, Georgia would probably be an extreme example, but Texas A&M, team that I would guess finished around 15th or so, was in that game, that to me shows progress, even if they lose, but they weren't in the game. To be blown off the field by Tennessee, that sucks. You're going to have outlier games. I get that whole thing. What would be another example of an opponent this year that, outside of Georgia, was a legitimately good team? Anybody? Nurse?
Arkansas was pretty good.
Yeah. And they weren't.
Mizzou played outside of Georgia that was good?
SEMO. A&M.
SEMO.
That's what I mean. Outside of A&M and Georgia.
Oh, they lost to Boston.
I guess.
College.
But Boston College is good. Arkansas is a good football team. If you watched that game, they had no chance. But I think that was a quarterback situation. They were hanging around, but you knew if Arkansas scored like 14 points with what they were doing offensively, there was no, and that was with Tyler Beatty going off. So from my standpoint, that's my own individual thing. So if they are competitive with a tough schedule next year, that to me illustrates progress. even if
Transfer
the
portal.
wins aren't there.
Transfer portal is now the new thing of getting coaches fired as well. It's not just are you recruiting, are you coaching, but a mass exodus of freshman, sophomore players that are 4 stars. And you see a lot of them coming to Missouri, so it's a double-edged sword there that, you're losing players, but you're also gaining some players from other teams as well. But, you saw Wingo, or
Makai Wingo.
Yeah, obviously he followed Steeples over there to LSU, kind of understandable. If you start
No, he
losing
said
those-
yesterday on an interview on Channel 4 that he left because of the constant change of defensive coaches.
See, that
He said
is that right?
more
Really?
Stability. I don't know if
that's not a great soundbite. That's not a great thing for Missouri.
Well, that's what he said.
No, I'm saying I get that, but if you start losing more guys like that, a 5-7 season turns into a disaster even more so with losing a lot of guys for depth and losing a starter as a freshman, first team all SEC. So that could probably do him in if he's losing a lot of guys each and every year.
You got to hope to get more than you lose. You got to hope there's some guys from premier programs who maybe aren't getting the playing time that they think will come to Mizzou, and they'll be better than what Mizzou's got now.
And you want to see if Drinkwitz can actually coach. And I hate the excuse, well, this is not in players. Well, Sam Pittman didn't have in players. Josh Heupel didn't have in players. The coach for Baylor didn't have his players, and they have pretty good years. So I'm so sick and tired of hearing, we'll wait 4 years to get recruits. I'm fine giving them a 4-year burp, but now you can tell if he's going to be able to coach or not in the SEC because these are going to be his guys.
Are you fed up with it?
I find that excuse to be ridiculous. Oh, it's not in players. It's not in players. I mean, look at there's 5-10 other programs that have new coaches that are actually winning in conference games.
How much recruiting is going to be the coaches anymore, though? When they can say, yeah, you're a great coach, but I can go here and make more money. I can go here. They got these sponsorships set up for me here. What do you got for me?
Oh, it's all about the boosters now.
That's an incredibly fair point, Iggy, I have to say.
That's how Texas A&M just landed the #1 recruiting class.
They paid $30 million for the recruiting class.
That is the game. You can text in your thoughts, call in your thoughts, 314-881-8625. It spells TMA5. Save it in your phone. Text in to the EDF text inbox. And, of course, you are welcome to call in 636-9004-TMA. Action Jackson is now on the roster of Sound Story, along with me and with Doug, and now is a perfect time to do it in December. We were booked up. Man, I don't know how many we did in December, but we did a lot. And it was awesome. I love doing them. Doug loves doing them. Jackson is available as well at mysoundstory.com. We can record here in this studio right after we are done with this radio presentation. If you are interested in doing one with Doug, and Jackson and I are available starting at 11 a.m. here at the Hubbard Studios, which are in Creve Coeur off of Olive. For more information, go online at mysoundstory.com. You can email me with any questions you may have, TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com. It is Sound Story. Record your loved one's story and always have it. We had that email a couple days ago that I read with somebody who was planning on having their mom and their siblings come in and do one, and the pandemic started. They weren't able to do it, and now a couple of the siblings have passed, and there's a great deal of regret that it wasn't able to get done because, as they say, those stories are lost forever. Don't lose your loved ones' stories. Make sure your kids, your grandkids, and their kids will be able to hear it forever. With Sound Story, Doug and I love doing them, and I think Jackson will do a hell of a job as well. It's mysoundstory.com, or email me at tmckernan at InsideSTL.com. I started it back in 2019. Doug and Jackson have been working with me on it. It is owned by us, and we would love to provide that service for you.
What a great idea that was.
It was an accident. It was really somebody else sent in the idea.
Oh, really?
Well, because people wanted me to interview my dad, and I was like, we're both going to start crying our eyes out, and I would rather just have that be a private conversation. And then when he came in, we didn't, and it was great, and I'm so happy that I did it. And for Anna Marie's, I interviewed her parents before Christmas, so now she has that, and I want to interview my mom. I got to do that. I got to do that. Once you do it, it's like, okay, now I have it.
Now you have it.
And you always have it. And it's their story in their voice in a conversation. It's the best.
I think back, I say it all the time. I never talked to my grandfather about growing up in that era of the Depression, and
I
maybe
love
watching
about
Babe
that
Ruth
stuff,
play
like what it was like.
baseball.
Exactly.
And then my dad was in the Korean War. My mom, her parents came over from Lebanon. Never even talked about any of that with my parents and grandparents. I would love to have
Yeah,
done
isn't
that.
it funny that it never really came up around the dinner table?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just didn't talk very much about that stuff.
And I guess when you're kids, you're just not in that state of mind. But I'm truly curious. I love hearing, most of the people, of course, that we're interviewing, can speak to either growing up during, World War II or the 1960s. And I just love hearing the historical perspective of what that was like, because it was such a pivotal decade in American history, whether it be, of course, the 40s with World War II or the 1960s, and how that decade started in one way and how it finished in another way. American culture, civil rights, music. My goodness. I mean, has any decade had a greater change in music from the way it started in 1960 to the way it exited in 1969?
No.
Is it possible? I mean, there's no way,
I love hearing about when we ask people about what they remember about when JFK was shot.
Everybody's got their story of it.
And it's all like, they're just like, just the stories you hear about that, everyone knows exactly where they were.
100%. It's the same with people now who are, Jackson, I mean, you were probably too young to remember September 11th, right? You were
Yeah,
3.
yeah. I think my generation, Gen Z, is described as those born before 9/11 but can't remember it.
Okay.
Or maybe right around then.
Right around the turn of the century, then.
Yeah. So, like, I was 3 and I don't remember anything. Or maybe even 2.
For us, my generation, up until September 11th, it was the Challenger.
Yeah.
But I've talked with some people, who are obviously, in their 80s or 90s at this point, who can remember Pearl Harbor. But Pearl Harbor wasn't like you're turning on, take your pick of whatever news outlet.
No, you couldn't see it.
It's something some didn't hear for a day or so, unless you really tuned in, yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I remember about JFK is that they turned TVs on in our grade school, and we watched the coverage.
Is that right? I feel like the people I talked to said a lot of them were sent home that day.
We weren't. I remember saying in St. Mary Magdalene, they rolled the TV in and said, this is something we all need to watch. Just like they did during the World Series. They would roll the TV in to watch the World Series.
Yeah.
Even when the Cardinals weren't playing?
Well, when the Cardinals played, yeah.
Oh, yeah, just when the Cardinals. But that was
But my grade school, 64, 67, 68, that was in grade school.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It was during the day, right?
Yeah. And then I got out of school. My dad took me to one of the 64 games, so I didn't go to school.
Oh.
Did Big Irish hit a home run? He had a lot of home runs in the 64 series. Didn't he?
That's my first.
He against the Yankees.
That's my first vivid remembrance of going to a game with my dad was the 64 World Series.
What a great thing that is.
And that's when I became a huge Ken Boyer fan. That was my favorite player.
Doug, you're a Ken Boyer guy,
yeah? Yeah. He was my favorite player, too.
Someone just tweeted out there yesterday that Sports Illustrated cover with the 68 Cardinals, like the highest paid team in history. And it's just like Roger Maris, Gibson, Lou Brock, Shannon, Tim McCarver, Cepeda. It's like, oh my God. Like, redhead managing them. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a great team. Great team. Ran away with the league that year.
And it's one of those things, kind of like I've asked Ozzy before, best team of those 3 that went to the World Series in the 80s. And he's like, 85, didn't win the World Series. I think those guys would say 68 might have been the best team.
Oh, yeah, it was.
And 64 and 67 won it, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you go up against, who they go up against? Denny McClain, Mickey Lolich.
Mickey Lolich won 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flood slipped on the fly ball that Jim Northrup hit that allowed a couple of runs to score in the 8th, I think. And they didn't recover. Game 7. They were ahead 3-1 in the series. Still lost it.
Did that bother you as a young tyke?
Oh, God, I was heartbroken.
Yeah.
Absolutely heartbroken.
That's where I was on 85.
Yeah.
I had 87.
I had it for the longest time, and I guess I didn't really care about it, and we got it thrown away. But I remember after the 67 game, a bunch of the Red Sox came into Charcoal House.
Here we go.
And I remember I had a napkin autograph.
Here we go.
My dad got a napkin autograph by Rico
Lodi.
Petrocelli and Jim Lonborg. I had that for the longest time. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember, when you look at the old video of Gibson striking out 17 Detroit Tigers, they cut to a shot of the crowd. Everybody's got a tie on.
Nice.
Can you imagine that today?
How hot that would be.
Putting on a tie. People were so well dressed back then. And now we just show up in whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Dress can't get any worse. I wouldn't think in human history it can't get much worse than it is now.
Well, you got to wear the baggy stuff because you're going to that 3rd or 4th helmet nacho.
Yeah, you need to be able to sal in.
Create some room.
Dippin' Dots, and then you got that pastrami sandwich for the ride home.
Oh, that pastrami goes so hard.
Something with an expandable waist.
Pastrami dog, Kelsey.
We flash back a generation, and they're wearing suits and ties at the ball game.
Guys, my parents are gone. Their wedding rehearsal was the day JFK was assassinated. I wish I could have a sound story about that. They were super Catholic, and their wedding rehearsal was the day JFK was assassinated. Yeah, they'll certainly remember that. And Lee Harvey Oswald was shot on live TV. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I was watching that.
So you were watching when that happened? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all. I was, a kid, 9 or 10, I guess.
Jack Ruby's strip club owner, I think.
He was. He owned the Stag Bar.
Mob connections.
So therefore, Doug, you are of the opinion that that was a
mob hit.
Inside job.
For heaven's sakes, yeah.
You insta shipped it.
How else?
Just depends who was the one on the inside.
Somebody even opened the door so we could get in the station.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I did. I was kind of wondering. Of course, this isn't something that I experienced, but now being older and familiarizing myself with it, not just through the Joe Pesci Dipped in Gold film. I use that for other reasons, but that I'm like, how was just a guy who owned a Stag Bar standing there as the guy who assassinated the president has just walked transfer?
They let him in.
Hey, Jack, come on in. Yeah, we're bringing him out now. Come stand as close as you want to him.
There's a mob guy who owns a strip
we don't have any metal.
He needs to be in here. He needs to be in the police department.
We don't have any metal detectors here. Come on in.
Right.
And he might have killed a guy who had nothing to do with the president's assassination. It's all like a big conspiracy wrapped in conspiracy.
But then they try to tie Sam Giancana and all that, right?
Right. Apparently he and JFK were sharing girlfriends or... I don't know. You see so many different stories.
Yeah, then when they got him elected in Illinois, they promised him a lot of favors. And when they didn't do that, and then Robert Kennedy started going after organized crime, and that's what the whole story is. But
I have no doubt that Oswald had something to do with it. Whether he was the only guy involved, that's highly doubtful. Highly doubtful.
There's no doubt that he had something, but he might never have squeezed his trigger. That's the thing.
He might not have what?
Ever fired a weapon. Like, they don't know exactly if he ever shot anyone.
So he wasn't necessarily for certain in the book depository?
I think they put him in there just so that's where they would hone the investigation in on.
Didn't he work there?
Yeah, he worked there.
He worked there.
Yeah, so that's why he was there.
But the magic bullet theory is what they presented. And so if he was one of the shooters, it's hard to believe that he was the only shooter.
Yeah. There was someone in that grassy knoll.
Right.
When you think,
Shot
though,
over that fence.
at some point...
You think so? You really
Yeah,
think?
sure.
Because
I do too.
We're talking 60 years ago. That at some point on a deathbed, somebody would say, hey, I did it.
Oh, the CIA
he didn't do it
gets
alone.
you way...
See, and I get that thought process, but the way that people are, I don't even know what the right word for it would be. Leveraged is what I'm trying to say, but I think there's a better word for it. Scared silent, maybe would be better, is threats to family members.
Yeah.
That's the game.
And would you believe anybody at this point?
Oh, yeah.
Well, unless they came up with all this evidence that you could go check and say, check here, and check here. I'm giving you the blueprint on where to go find all this information.
Well, I think the files are opening where they were supposed to open up last year, but they keep getting delayed.
They're not going to reveal to the American public that they were just lying or covering.
Well,
up.
the Freedom of Information Act, eventually, I think they do have to. So
yeah, but they also scrub that.
Had a few people send me this, both in the text inbox, and Doug, the John Wooden of South St. Louis, you call him Cal Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Just sent me a text of JFK Revisited Through the Looking Glass. It's a documentary on Showtime that is out. So there it is, if you're interested in going down
check that out for sure.
I don't have Showtime anymore.
All right. How you going to watch Billions, baby?
Yeah, I know. I don't know. You got to get the Showtime app.
Do you think Billions will fall off with Damian Lewis is gone, so I don't know what it was that I
saw a trailer with him in it.
So you saw it too?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell we were looking
Unless
at.
they were flashing back to...
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, I just remember reading like a New York Post article that he said he was done with that chapter.
Yeah, so yeah,
Can't watch without him.
I went after we talked about it on the show. I'm like, wow, well then what are they doing? Or maybe he's just taking a year off. I know his wife passed away.
Yeah.
So maybe he just needed time. But no, I think he's off the show. From my standpoint, a show, I mean, Game of Thrones will go down in history, as the biggest disaster as far as
greatest and the worst show
as
of
far
all
as
time.
the equity it had for its first X number of seasons, and then the debacle that was the final few episodes. Homeland had, so you know where I'm going with this. I mean, was so good for its first however many seasons, Damian Lewis left. They kind of solved that riddle, and the show then just kind of it became a way. Kind of House of Cards with Kevin Spacey, and they saved the final season. I use the term saved loosely, but it was definitely not the same thing.
No.
And so I'm wondering if Billions now will fall off like Homeland did, Kevin Spacey and House of Cards. Game of Thrones is an outlier because of, the writing. But I'm wondering, like, my enthusiasm for watching the show is dissipated by the fact that you don't have Axe.
Yeah.
Right. There.
I mean, everything evolves around him. I mean, there's some other good characters in there, but not enough to save that show, I don't think.
So you're out now. You're selling. You're selling your stock.
I don't have Showtime anyway, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're probably trying to keep the show alive so everybody still has jobs and they can continue to make money.
Yeah, Game of Thrones should have been 7 more seasons.
Just a disaster.
I mean,
I never saw it.
They were so.
You never watched any of it, or you tried to? I remember.
Yeah, I would flip on and say, "What's everyone talk about?" And I'd see like 5 minutes of people in dark castles just kind of staring into space. I said, "What the hell? I'm not watching this."
The first 6 seasons is comparable to Breaking Bad, and that style of how good it was. But 7th season I actually enjoyed. I wasn't terribly upset.
Oh, is that right?
I thought the action was well. I thought the writing was terrible. The 8th season could have been. It couldn't have been worse if you even tried. You could have a 5-year-old with a crayon.
Crayon? Is that what you said?
A crayon.
Okay.
Writing the ending to that, and it would still be better than what you got.
Well, they ran out of source material was the biggest problem.
Yeah, they were
Doug's source material.
They were way ahead of the books.
Source material.
Well, George R.R. Martin wrote the books, which coincided with, I think, the first 5 or 6 seasons, and then he didn't. HBO was like, we need to do the next 2 seasons.
And there were a couple of interns in the cafeteria, and they said, "Hey, can you knock out these seasons?"
D.B. Weiss and Dave something, and they did, and it went poor. I actually think most of season 8 is okay. The last 2 episodes are just awful. But like the White Walker fight scene, despite the fact you can't see anything, is actually a pretty good episode.
Oh, that's right.
It's in pitch black. If you watch it during the day, good luck. If you have any glare on your TV, you cannot see a thing.
And I to me, and what's great was it recently came out that George R.R. Martin said he wanted it to go 5 more seasons, but HBO was not willing to wait for the books and all that information, so they went on it. Can you imagine having 5 more seasons of Game of Thrones and having to actually follow
his vision?
It was something. Was that 2019 when it went away?
Season 8 was 2019.
I mean, the whole, not the whole country. It felt like the whole country, but you had. What is the final episode of MASH, Doug? Is that the one that was always held up as the standard, or Who Shot JR with Dallas in the early 1980s? A rare time where it felt like, even though mathematically it wasn't, the whole country, and in Game of Thrones' case, it was beyond the United States, was talking about a show, and yet it's universally panned with what happened at the end. So much so that there's talk about... not that it's necessarily real, but to go back and pick up after whichever season and then redo the final season.
I would be fine with that. I would actually enjoy that. And you feel bad because it went from everybody having that on their Mount Rushmore. I mean, after season 6, you ask people... and
people say that about Dexter. I never watched it. My wife was into it, and I guess the final season or final episode of Dexter before they've rebooted it.
Final season was terrible.
Yeah, okay, I don't know. It just sucks that that's the way that it...
Didn't that end in the boat?
Yeah,
I didn't see it. I don't know.
I didn't see it.
I won't give it away.
Breaking Bad, I think I was disappointed because I wanted that show to continue for so long because that's the first show I waited every week to watch before streaming became super popular.
I thought the ending was fine.
That's
then
what I
they
meant.
tried to get El Torino, the movie afterwards, which was just awful because it was just Aaron Paul.
But I loved how Breaking Bad ended. I thought that was a good way. Walt needed to die. He did a lot of things.
Doug, that's a spoiler alert.
Well, we never really saw him.
It is 8 years old, I think.
We saw the machine guns going in there, the bullets flying in the building. We never really saw him dead, though.
He dropped, and then the cops came. So either he's arrested or he's dead. But I absolutely loved the ending to that. I just wish, again, that lasted 8-9 more seasons.
Yeah,
because
me
you
too.
love
I
it
love
so
that.
much.
Well, and Deadwood was supposed to go 2 more seasons.
Oh, yeah. That was...
But you
But
mentioned
HBO said it cost too much money.
You mentioned George R.R. Martin. I like 2 middle initials.
You like that move?
It makes you sound very important.
So is J.K. Rowling kind of in that same realm? It's not middle.
No,
those are...
I'd like to be Douglas E.R. Vaughn.
Well, I like that.
Emergency room Vaughn.
And I like that. I can do that if you want.
Douglas
We intro.
E.R. Vaughn. I think 2 middle initials is nice.
I put
real
that
nice.
I put that in my
J.R.R.
senior.
Tolkien.
Yes.
Oh,
I put it in my yearbook, my senior year. Just I thought it'd be funny because my middle name is Bruce, and then my confirmation name is Joseph. So I put Kenneth B.J. Strode.
Perfect.
You
Fitting
look
for
so
you.
much like a Bruce. Like if I,
That's a big clip. That off.
I think that's a perfect secondary name.
Yeah.
Bruce.
Bruce E. Young.
And you're wearing your
Callback.
Iggy for Mayor hat today, which is very nice.
Oh, I didn't even know.
You can see that on YouTube. Doug, 260 people are in there talking it over right now. Come on in. The water's warm. I think we look hot today.
Yeah.
I'd go through the
like
dayas
every
quickly.
day. Yeah, we've all done our hair.
Nice.
Yeah. We went through hair and makeup before the show even started,
That's
so
right.
we look better than we do when we just crawl
More
out of
little
bed.
polo tartan.
It's like a little chat room where people are just talking about the show. Doug, you can go in there and talk it over with your friends.
Well, I don't think I have any friends that would be in there. Most of my friends are old enough to know better.
I have some friends who just started listening since we've made the transition. They ask a lot of questions.
About what? About what?
Maybe they need to listen to some Swope's picks. It's like it's like a precursor, or some kind of initiation. or
It's like an
orientation.
epilogue.
The big mystery is how people could actually make a living doing what we're doing right now. I mean, is this a great country or what? We're doing absolutely nothing.
Well, define make a living.
Well, enough money to eat, take care of food, clothing, and
Okay,
shelter.
then I'm fine.
I mean, it's no 50K and a 401K, but it'll get by.
Let's see. Guys, I've finished a couple times in this chat. That's nice. So guys are using the chat, and they're kind of cybering in the chat with each other. So that's another reason to join in. It's youtube.com/TMASTL. This is the Munganast 7 o'clock hour. Work with the wonderful Jamie Burkhardt and Clayton Patterson. At this point, it's daily, and I love it. People email me or DM me on social media, and they say, hey, could you talk about on TMA or on 101 introducing us to Jamie and Clayton? I'd really appreciate it. More than happy to do it. Jamie loves it. Do it with Seth Goldcamp as well. Did it with Mark Hanna earlier this week. I'm happy to do it. You want an introduction? I want to make the introduction for you. Email me, tmckernan at InsideSTL.com. Because everybody feels better about making a purchase, one as large as a car, or even just something that's a minor thing. If you feel like you have a contact and a connection, well, that's what we want to do here. When we vouch for the people on this show, we know them. Now, if it's reading copy for a business, we're not going to read a copy for a business if we don't like it or believe in it. But we're talking about the individuals. We know them. We are clients of Munganast. All of us are, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Paul
yeah.
Hawk, I know you didn't get your car there, but you got it repaired there a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
they're
right?
amazing.
Yeah.
I got a Toyota Highlander now. They showed me. I'm driving.
And I saw they put 22-inch rims on those things for you.
Are they
Love
spinning?
that car.
They are
oh,
spinning.
my goodness. Is that a
They're still
fabulous
spinning.
car.
Doug gets here before me, and his rims are still spinning
look
even
at it.
when he's
I
parked.
was listening out there. They're still spinning.
I pimp around.
Clip that off.
I drive up and down
Hi,
Lindbergh
Doug.
there,
Into the
in
ladies
in
go,
South
man,
County.
that's nice.
Yeah, I cruise. I love that Toyota Highlander.
There's
My
nothing hotter
goodness, that's a better.
than a middle-aged man getting out of a car with spinning rims.
In a Highlander.
Fantastic car. It's so comfortable. It sits up a little bit. It's quiet. It's a hybrid. It gets ridiculous fuel mileage, gas mileage.
Yeah, Jamie built these little sticks so I can control this because I can't reach.
You have to have a special knob so that your pincers.
That's correct.
Can
My hands are
attach.
so tiny that I can barely grab.
And he built you those.
He built it for
And
me.
the gas and brake pedals look like little mini
They do.
chalkboardy racers.
But then I'm like,
You
because my
have the
legs
little
don't
feet.
touch the ground, obviously, and so I'm like reaching to press. And he goes, "No, I'll build these little sticks for you." And they did it for Emmanuel Lewis, and now they're doing it for me. It's
Not
a
a lot of
wonderful thing.
auto dealers would do that.
Nope. Well, you can do it at
They do it at
stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. It's Munganast, the sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour and the Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown. And Iggy, I'm going to show you something. And this is going to typify right here the Tam Avenue Capital Partners experience.
And hopefully we can update ours after the break because I have no clue. I mean, I know what I did, but I forgot who Doug picked.
If you would, real, I want you to be able to read this to the people. This is yesterday around 4 o'clock.
I see that you were in first place, winning $150,000.
And
I see you're in fifth place, winning $8,000.
And I think I was in third place.
I see you in third place, winning $30,000.
That's right, Doug. At around 4 o'clock yesterday, the Tam Avenue Capital
You can update
Partners
it?
were winning $192,000. By the end of the day, our total was $540.
That's insane, dude.
A lot of volatility in the boardroom at the Tam Avenue Capital Partners.
Yeah.
All it takes is a couple of bogeys, and that's what happens.
You didn't spend any of that money, did you?
I did. Actually, I was at Napoli.
He pulls up with
That's right where you went. when you got that email?
I did. Got some Dom P and some Penna vodka. Yep.
Leased a huge RV, just pulled it into the station.
Black Escalade.
So, I probably need to call Mark Hannon, see what he would advise at this point.
And all it takes is a couple of bogeys, and your guys go from first to fifth, and all of a sudden you just lost 100-something points.
Who is this guy who's leading? Not Cantlay. I know you like to add the extra syllable on him, but who's the other guy? Doug, I know you were
probably
monitoring.
one of my guys, Hardy, Woo, Kenny Woo, or it could have been Fowler or Sabatini.
Lee Hodges.
I didn't see that. Lee Hodges.
Gil Hodges is leading?
That's correct. I honestly have no idea who the man is. He's ranked 138th. But
Well, Lee Hodges.
Below Cantlay. There's not much after that either. There's a lot of names up there you never heard of.
He went to the University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Doug, he's a Blazer.
Blazer.
Gene Bartow?
Yes.
He's 26 years young, 6 foot, $187.
Look at Jackson off the top of his head.
Is he a Corn Ferry guy?
Probably at one point. Vineyard Vine sponsor.
Here's where I am on Lee Hodges, if anybody's interested in this, because we've seen this song and dance before.
Fade him.
He'll be folding up like a cheap tent this afternoon in Palm Springs.
He probably played one of the
Watch him now shoot 59.
He probably played one of the easier courses. Then you get him to the stadium course. And, because my big play on the pick six was Johnny Vegas to finish top 40. I thought that was a no-brainer.
I put some Vegas on the team, and I saw he had a rough day.
Well, I mean, he makes birdies, and he did. He made 5 of them.
Is he a shot maker?
And
he's a ball striker, actually.
He only had 2 holes where he didn't birdie or par, and those 2 holes were a double and a triple. So he finished even par.
You know who's DFL?
Davis Lowe?
No, actually. Matthew Wolff, which is concerning because he's had some...
Yeah, he may withdraw then.
Yeah, and Phil Mickelson, who carded a 9. A 9 on a par 4.
Wow.
And I had some...
Well, go in the water a couple times. That'll do it.
Yeah, I don't know which hole it was. But, so the Tam Avenue Capital Partners got a little taste yesterday and then promptly lost approximately $195,000.
Just in a couple minutes.
It went quickly. It went quickly.
Who was it? Was it Jeff Bezos who lost $38 billion one day? Stock market took a hit. He lost $38 billion.
All right.
I think we can all relate to that.
And he probably picked up $40 billion the next day.
Probably.
So. Yeah, so if you're following your DraftKings team, look for 9 or 10 under par will be the cut after Saturday, I would think.
No one needs to look for that.
So Johnny Vegas shot even. I need Johnny Vegas to go out and shoot a 4 under and a 5 under round.
You know who texted me with a little play? Billy Shack Lady.
Oh,
nice.
Did he? What did he get?
Billy Shack Lady. I haven't
Matthew
seen him.
Wolff?
He's moved over to Kansas City. No, he said, what do you think about Jason Day at 7,300? And I was looking at that, and Molinari's at 7,000, and so your inclination is, well, something must be wrong. But I did put some J Day on there after talking with Billy Shack Lady.
Yeah,
and he had a good day. I mean, it's not he's leading, but
yeah, he hasn't.
And Molinari played well too, and he was only 7,000.
Yeah, there's some guys in there in those 7,000 ranges you could get. And I like Justin Rose for the fact that
Doug, you have Justin Rose.
My team.
He didn't play any of the early European tour. He didn't go to Sony. He didn't go to Hawaii. And he said, I'm working on my game for this year. Because he dropped to like under 50. Now he's back up to 42 in the world. But he's spent all winter working on his game. That's all he's done. So
But don't a lot of them spend all winter working on
no,
their
they
game?
don't. They spend
Professional
eating
golfers,
and
they
traveling and wait for a couple weeks before Hawaii. And I better work on some stuff.
I don't know. I bet they're all working pretty much all the time, aren't they?
No. You think Ricky Fowler's been working on his game after having a kid?
Well, probably.
No, and I think he shot over par yesterday. So.
Okay, now Ricky.
What has happened to him? He went from like the darling of the PGA to he's going to.
Doug, let's pull up Ricky Fowler's swing in
he's gonna have-
2015 and then his swing
he's gonna have
now.
to get
What do you
sponsors
see as
exemptions
far as
pretty
is he
soon.
coming in? Is he coming in too steep? Is that the issue?
I don't know. He's got rich, and so he lost a little of his edge, probably.
Quick tempo. Real quick over the top.
No, I know he's changing his swing over the last year, but I don't know why you change it at that age. He's not like he has something. He's going to have back problems with his swing.
We got to take a break, but I do want to break down Lee Hodges' swing coming up at 8:30.
Oh, come on.
Also, the post drops of the week are coming up. Lisa Ann with us at 9 o'clock. The Bird Early Cutlery Cuts of the Week and the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day are all coming up on your captain's log. Send them in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. You are listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 HD2 FM, The Potted Plant, TMASTL.com, and you're watching with your friends in the chat at YouTube.com/TMASTL.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
Charlie just fell asleep. I looked over, Charlie had his head down like he's in
I'm not
fourth
feeling
grade.
great today. I'm not going to lie.
You got a temperature?
Big Al is furious with you for being mean to Mike Lee, by the way. It sounds like he wants to arm wrestle you.
I talk to Mike Lee every night at Fox 2. He calls like 37 times.
You have caller ID?
No, they just send it back, too.
I would suggest caller ID.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't answer the phone.
The phone is poison.
95% of the time.
The phone is poison at a TV station. If it's not some viewer with a bizarre question, then it's somebody from another station wanting about an hour of your time to go and do an interview for them because their guy who used to play college ball in their town is playing now for the Rams, and they would like you to send him all this stuff. The phone is poison.
It's either Mike Lee or Randy.
Yeah.
Randy calls him, "Hey, who's anchoring tonight?"
Yeah. What do you think the Blues will do?
"Hey, you gonna talk to the coach? Tell him good luck."
Think Sam Bradford will be back?
"Tell him good luck."
Who won NASCAR?
He's always
Tell
doing
him good
NASCAR.
luck. I'm not going to tell anyone good luck.
He's always talking
I'm
NASCAR.
not going to see Kevin Harvick on my way home. Think the Cardinals make a trade? I don't know. They just made one.
Where'd Matt Kenseth finish?
Think Baylor will catch another touchdown pass? Don't know. Where's NASCAR race? Don't know that either. All right, tell him good luck. I'm not going to tell him good luck.
You know what, though? He's actually kind of sharp because sometimes I'll have a little fun with him and he'll say, like, who's pitching tonight? And I'll say Christy Mathewson. It's like, oh, no, come on now, Trotter, come on.
Oh, he knows Christy Mathewson.
So because he picks up on that, you say he's actually pretty smart.
Well, relatively speaking to what you would think by this conversation, he actually, like, he knows the Cardinals' rotation.
No. Every night he calls. Every night. I think the Blues will do. I just don't know. Just watch and see. I really don't know. Think the Billikens got a good club? They're pretty young, but that's all I know. Well, tell them good luck. I will not tell anyone good luck. I'm not going to see any of them. I'm at a TV station. That's why I got your phone call. I won't be telling anybody good luck. Tell them your own damn self. These are the phone calls we have. The phone is poison at a TV station.
But I'm not joking when I say that 95%, this is over a 6 or 7 year sample size, 95% of all phone calls that ring in the sports office are Mike Lee or Randy. I'm not even kidding.
And the remaining percentage is a guy at another TV station who wants you to send him something, to stop what you're doing and do something for his show.
But he's not going to give you anything or pay you.
No,
I question the system right now.
Yeah, I've
True
questioned it
story.
for years and years.
In 6.5 years, I've never set up my voicemail because of that. If you want to get a hold of me,
Professional stance.
no, I'm talking about on my work phone because no one calls.
Yeah.
Everybody has your cell phone. You have all your contacts there. Yeah. If the phone rings, it's like you said, it's bad.
Yeah. Just let it go if you can.
And it ain't good.
Let it go if you can. Yeah. We got it bad, and that ain't good.
Hey, guys, St. Gabe's 8th grade boys soccer playing in the county finals. Can you tell them good luck?
What a shock. What a shock that they got there. Let me guess, the games were played at Francis Park. With what? St. Gabe's officials. Boy, get some home cooking down there. St. Gabe's is in the finals and everything. You don't even have to tell them good luck. They're going to get there.
You guys ought to start covering grade school stuff. Can you imagine that?
We've tried that.
Oh, did you really?
Once in a blue moon, we'd go out and do a Little League story where we heard somebody's, hitting 900 this year. And by the, you can't get out of the car in the parking lot. Been 5 other parents. My son's on field 5. He threw a no-hitter. We won our game last year and won a tournament in Cincinnati. These kids deserve coverage. These kids are 7. Leave me alone. You covered them. Why don't you cover the girls' teams? What's wrong with it? Do you hate? Stop it! And we turn rear and we get out of there before we ever did the story we went there to cover in the first place.
I covered a Little League story like 2 years ago. It was a kid who threw both right and left-handed.
Oh, my word. Why do you hate girls? There's a girls' game on field 12. Why aren't you over there?
You're right. But that's the kind of Little League story. It has to have a hook like that.
Some Little League stories would be fun. They'd be kind of cute. People kind of like seeing that. But you can't get past the parents. My son's better than him. He played right field last week. You can't do a story on him. Leave me alone. Don't you people have concession stand duty at Afton someplace? Leave us be. We stopped going. We stopped going to the league store. You can't get past the parent factor.
Guys, you think the Rams will move? Hope not. Tell them good luck.
Tell them good luck. I'm not going to tell anyone good luck. Should we be making phone calls to these guys and say nothing but good luck and have to say it in that accent? I don't want that to be my job.
This was probably about 5 years ago, but I remember listening to KMOX, or maybe it was 550 at the time, but after a game, Claiborne was doing the post game, and they're taking calls, and back-to-back calls were Jackie and then Randy. Nice. And afterwards, Claves was like, all right, I think we need to do a little better job screening these calls. But like Randy, I mean, it was the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Wayno. Is Wayno going to pitch tomorrow? We pitch him on 4 days rest?
What do you know about him? You know. You think Lackey will be pretty good for us? I don't know.
And it's always like,
probably so.
Hey, you think Cardinals going to make a trade? Well, the trading deadline just ended.
Yeah.
Cardinals going to make a trade?
Any trades after that? No. Well, good luck. Stop that!
Have you ever told anybody good luck?
No, I refuse. Refuse to tell. Can you imagine going in the locker room and say, hey, Robert Quinn, good luck. I was just told to tell you that. Good luck.
What do you think he
get
would
thrown
do?
out. They would revoke your credential on the spot. Don't tell us good luck.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. If you thought the real estate market was hot last year, just wait. It's only January, and we are pre-approving record numbers of borrowers looking to buy a home. The competition is going to be fierce, and if you're even considering, even thinking about buying a home this year, let's talk. Let's get you pre-approved today. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326240.
Enterprise Contracting is your locally owned and operated storm damage insurance claims specialist in roofing, siding, and gutter replacement and repair. They can help evaluate your home for storm damage from hail and wind that the St. Louis area continually receives year-round. Work with the great Connor Lee at Enterprise Contracting. Give them a call and just mention the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 HD2 FM at 314-455-5000. That's 314-455-5000.
Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
004 TMA. And what does Iggy want to date? He's going on a date with me and Anna Marie? Is that the deal?
Well, I guess since that interview, Unicorn probably hasn't seen the light of day.
She followed up with me with an email about some other story. I can't remember. I don't even know what it was.
So you're double dating with Iggy?
Yeah.
Didn't it turn into...
And Plowhawk and Madison. Yeah. Doug, you said you were busy. Huh. And we haven't even picked a date, so it was weird that you knew that we weren't going to be available. Jackson, you going to go on your Tinder account and say, hey...
Yeah, I can
go out with my radio show.
Yeah. I think I'll have to, I only have so many to, ask, If I ask 3 of them, they all say yes, I'll have to pick.
Nice.
Oh.
Maybe we'll go to dinner with Lisa Ann when she's in town.
Are you getting any traction on that Tinder account lately?
Don't worry about me.
No.
Wow.
Well, he snapped at me.
Yeah, he did. I'm legitimately curious. Are things tightening up with COVID over the last month, or did just everybody in town get it and people are like, all right, now we're good, let's go get them? And
probably the latter.
Yeah.
Well, for me personally, I just had it a month ago, so I'm, send me your downtrodden.
You're free to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lady Liberty.
Yeah, that's me.
The stallion is out of the barn.
Clip that off.
Yep.
So what are you on more? Bumble? Is that your spot?
I diversify. I'm on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge.
What is Hinge? No.
Well, yeah, which one's, how's that different?
Hinge is, I don't know how it's, there's a lot more prompts you can answer.
Prompts?
Yeah, I don't know.
Doesn't it pretty much get down to what they look like? On just a dating app, anyway?
Well, yeah.
I feel like one of them, the female has to initiate. Bumble.
So
what's the difference between Hinge and Bumble?
Well, Bumble, the big draw is the female initiates.
That's probably a big draw for the females.
Right, exactly.
Probably not the best for Iggy types.
Well, you got to shoot your
We'll have
shot.
to ask him when he rejoins the show. He's still wandering the halls in his robe.
Kind of Hugh Hefner
We do need
in
to
the
get
mansion.
him a robe. I actually found my
No
old
idea
Bunny
where he
Ranch robe the other day.
Oh, did you
I
really?
found it deep
Bring
in
it
the
in for
closet.
him.
I thought it had been taken, but no, I actually found it.
I would put a black light to that thing before I went anywhere near it.
Well, it's only belonged to me.
Again, I would put a black light on.
Okay.
You can see
I don't
Iggy's
think
empty
Iggy would
chair
mind.
on YouTube, youtube.com/TMASTL. Did Iggy get fired during the break? I see on the YouTube chat.
He's back with the Hoosiers goblet.
It would be fun to get like an imaging element for his camera, like have like, you know, the color bars that, you know, like.
Iggy, who'd you run into in the hallway this time?
Well, I didn't. I can do 2 or 3 things before I come back.
Except show up on time
Yeah, okay.
for the second segment. That you cannot do.
Well, if I do 2 things, I make it. If I just have to get coffee and smoke, fine. But if I have to go to the bathroom, too, bathroom, coffee, smoke, I'm late.
I would suggest cut out the smoking.
Well, yeah.
There you go.
Okay,
Or
that
the
was
bathroom.
easy.
Or the bathroom.
Now, I was saying while you were out that I found my old Bunny Ranch robe. I
about
thought,
that?
I thought I had lost it, but it was deep in my closet. I found it, and we would like for you to wear that here during the break, so you can wander the halls in a robe, an old man's bathrobe.
Well, I have
Would
one,
you be
too.
up for that?
I have one, too. Yeah, bring it in. I was going to wear footy pajamas in here one day.
Nice.
Okay.
Wait till it warms up a little bit.
Iggy looks so great right now. That's from Bill's wife.
Ooh.
Got a lot of lighting on his mug.
Send a picture. Yeah. Shut
Bill's wife, can you see?
You want me to shut it? Is that too much?
That was Bill, and Bill is single.
Ryan Kelly is on hold.
Oh, my goodness. Doug, thehomeloanexpert.com. He's on hold. Look, everybody, it's Ryan Kelly, the title sponsor. Hello again, everybody.
Well, hello there, gentlemen. How are we?
We are wonderful. We are wonderful. How are you, though, sir? That's what I want to know. How are you?
I'm doing well. I was just playing a little basketball with the guys. A little Friday morning. We hit the court. Why not? Got to do more than just mortgages. Got to keep your mind healthy. Mental strength is a big one. But while I was in the queue, I got blessed with the last few minutes of the show. I'm picturing Iggy's chain-smoking squares right out of the front door there at Hubbard. Loving that. Blowing darts.
1 an hour. 1 an hour.
Yeah, a cup of coffee in his hand, hitting the bathroom on the way back, looking for Learn, looking for somebody, you know, crawling around the hallways.
It's hard. Ryan, I got to tell you, it's hard because everybody wears masks when they're walking around. And yesterday, I know it was the day before, I saw a dog with a couple of people, and I stopped to pet the dog, and found out that the guy that was with the dog was Stevie O, was in with the Riz show. I didn't even recognize him because everybody had a mask on. Steve-O.
Yeah, you guys are just like bumping shoulders with all the celebrities now.
Yeah, noticeably all going to the other stations.
We snagged one.
Do they still let you work there in the main hallway with all the studios? Have they found a new space for you, like down in the basement? Like, what are they doing?
We are kind of on the same level, but not really on the same level.
Right.
But we are in the main hallway. We are, and then Iggy just kind of wanders and looks for friends and wanders into studios.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a robe, give him some dark glasses and a walking stick. Let that man go. Let him roam those hallways. Well, I'll tell you, it's Friday. Man, it's already like January's right behind us, and here comes February. A lot of folks are looking for those homes right now in St. Louis. I can tell you that because we're pre-approving them. It's going to be a pretty tough year to find that right house. Tons of people watching those same neighborhoods, watching those same school districts. They're waiting for that. A lot of stuff's not even hitting the market. You're going to need a good agent to let you know, hey, we're going to have a listing coming up in this neighborhood. I know you're interested. It's going to go quick. So you're going to need a good agent. You're going to need a good lender. You're going to be ready. One great thing to do is get pre-approved before you find the right house, right? Start looking at that with us. Let's go through your credit. Let's go through your income. Let us give you some pointers if there's anything better you could be working on, you know, to improve that situation. And then when that right house hits, boom, you're there. So telling you, if you're already hitting the Zillow app, if you're already talking to a realtor, if you're already talking to the spouse, thinking about buying a house, let's just get you on the phone. Let's talk it through. Let's get you a pre-approval from the home loan expert because telling you, just never know. You wake up that morning, you hit that Zillow app, you find the right house, you got to be ready to go.
That's true, man.
We're standing by. We work all weekend, 7 days a week till 10 p.m. Want to get pre-approved? Hit us up, thehomeloanexpert.com. Give us a call. We have a 21-day closing guarantee. That's how you get that leg up on the competition. I'm going to leave it there, boys. Hope you all have a great rest of your day there. I hope they let you back in, Iggy, on Monday.
Nice.
And I don't see why they wouldn't. You probably add quite a bit of joy to the office there.
I hope so, Ryan.
He does.
Because they add joy.
Ryan,
They add
you're
joy
right.
to me.
Except when he cooks the
Yeah, and I'll
fish.
tell you, worst case scenario, you definitely give them something to talk about, probably, right? I can imagine, on the other stations, they're talking about this guy that walks around the hallway in a robe.
Yeah, who is this idiot that just walked in our studio and waved? We don't know him.
Yeah. Boys, visit thehomeloanexpert.com. We'll get back to this game. I'm going to pick it up here. Talk to you soon, boys. Have a
Thanks,
great
Ryan.
weekend.
There he is. Have a great weekend. There he is, Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com. Douglas pre-approval. I'm telling you. Go to the
that's where it's at.
homeloanexpert.com and get pre-approved. That's because here I was talking with my real estate agent, and he said once February goes, you're going to see a bunch of listings. That's when people start listing.
Yeah.
Because they make the move after school and they're ready for the new school year. That's the thought process. People are already thinking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
And so be ready. You got to be ready. Go to thehomeloanexpert.com and get pre-approved. And I did it last year, and it's a pretty quick process. Same with refinancing.
Oh, yeah. It's not a hassle at all. You think it's going to be, but it isn't.
It isn't.
It isn't at all.
It really isn't. And
Well,
it's
it could
so
be.
important.
It could be if you don't use Ryan.
That's right. Nicely done.
Oh, boy.
That was a nice little
You said a
job.
mouthful there.
TheHomeLoanExpert.com. Ryan Kelly, title sponsor of this show. Doug and I have both refinanced with him here in the last couple of years, and I got pre-approved last year, and we'll figure it out. I don't know if we'll move or not. The moving.
Oh, you're looking to buy a different house?
Well, we were looking in Jupiter is why we got pre-approved last year, and then 2 days later, Anna Marie told me she was pregnant, and I thought, well, we probably won't be doing this anymore. So that was the timeline on the whole thing. Yeah. That's.
Boy, housing prices in Florida have skyrocketed.
Holy moly, cockatole!
Rocketed.
There's this area, right, for those of you who have been to spring training, it's right across from the golf course that's right next to there, Abacoa, and then Roger Dean Stadium's right there. You know what I'm talking about, right?
There was a time I have played there, and there was a time when Abacoa, that's all there was in Jupiter.
Yeah, that's true.
There was nothing.
And they built this area, and it's called Alton, which is where Larry Nickel lives, except he lives in the Illinois one. This is in Jupiter.
A little different price range.
And but it's I was just for the hell of it in 2017 or 18 looked at places there, and it's easily 2 times what they were in 2018, and that's when they were brand new. It's just incredible what's going on because so many people from the Northeast are moving there, and if you're paying a couple $1 million for whatever, I don't know what the pricing would be, 2,000 square foot, that probably would be more than that, but I don't know, in Manhattan. Then you go down there and live in warm weather all year and have a huge home for around the same price.
I wonder if that
the game has changed.
I wonder if the developer's kicking his ass or thinking, God, if I'd have held on, do you need to buy a golf course and build a golf course? I could have built condominiums and homes here.
Listen to the typing. Jackson's looking for a place.
Well, do you know how many homes you could have built on that land instead of Abacoa?
Where? Oh, Abacoa, the golf course.
Yeah,
there are a bunch of homes in Abacoa.
But if you don't build that and you just build homes for what the prices are.
I remember in 2008 when the economy tanked, they couldn't give those places away because a lot of them were second homes from people who lived in the Northeast, and they were selling them for next to nothing.
Yeah, hindsight. I just don't know.
Oh, you were just dismissed.
I sure was.
Well, I mean, instead of a golf course, you build homes.
Happened. So all I said is just a little bit of a history lesson.
Come on, Doug.
If they
And
would
you
have
come
known,
up with hindsight. Well, yeah, it's all hindsight. Yeah, that's what happened.
I just think it.
You said, gee, why did I build a golf course when I could have built homes? Hindsight. Everything's hindsight.
Now there are homes on there, but they could have been all homes and not a golf course. And you know
hindsight.
what? I've never really talked to people about golf course ownership and things that go into it. But I look at, I could have sworn.
What in the world?
I turned it off. I turned my ringer off.
Hindsight.
I turned my ringer off. I don't know why it rang.
Because you didn't turn it off.
I did turn it off. As soon as I walked in here, I turned it all the way down. But I just go back to my home course when I lived in Bermuda was Port Royal, where they play the Bermuda Championship. And in order to get a PGA Tour event, they had to put $20 million into Port Royal. How do you ever get that money back?
Doug, how do you get the money back?
Can you do enough open play throughout the week to make...
What's it cost to play there?
Well, now it probably cost about $100-something. Back when I was a member, it was costing me like $35. But even if you charged $100, at what point do you get your $20 million back?
It's marketing on TV as well. You're showing your course to, hundreds of thousands of people.
Maybe you get it back when you sell your course. It's like owning a professional sports franchise. Build a new stadium. How are you ever going to get that back? Well, you don't get it back right away, but if you should ever sell it.
There's cachet associated with courses, even if they're not that great, if they host a PGA Tour event. So I suppose that could be the theory, like Doug said, and then it has greater value on the market when they want to have an exit.
I guess. Just think like Bermuda. I mean, you either go there to play golf or you don't. You don't go there and say,
was that the Nova Scotian beef lady?
No, she didn't play golf.
I thought she was like an 8, but
No.
really good short game.
She had good beef.
Is it better from Nova Scotia?
She told me it was. I can't believe you'd pack that thing in dry ice and get permission from the Nova Scotian government to bring beef.
Isn't Al McInnes from Nova Scotia?
I think he is. That's right.
So.
But what I'm saying is
Nova Scotia is different than Newfoundland. Do you say Newfoundland or Newfoundland?
Newfoundland.
Yeah, Newfoundland.
Halifax.
That's a nice word.
But if you're going to Bermuda to play golf, great, because you're a golfer, and there's 5 great golf courses in Bermuda. But if you're not a golfer and you say, oh, you know what, I saw this on TV, we don't play golf, but let's go play golf. I mean, you're already going there to play golf.
I see what you're saying. I follow what you're saying.
Yeah, so I just don't know how they...
Guys, we don't even live in the nice part of Florida, and we cannot buy a house. Re-upped a long-term rental to lock in the price, but if we hadn't rented, it was up 40% year over year. 40%! Sweet mother of mercy.
Yeah, it's going up like that everywhere.
Everywhere?
All over Florida, apparently. All over. Yeah. I read a story the other day. Some guy moved his family down from New York. I guess he did make a lot of money, and they haven't found any place to live. They can't find any place to rent. He's in the Pensacola area.
Yeah, where did the lower middle class kind of hang their hats there in that
Orlando.
area?
Well, there's plenty of
that
that
right?
in Florida.
Friendly confines.
There's plenty of poor
Orlando
people in Florida.
Well, I didn't even mean. I just meant you're more or less working class. That kind of the main.
Well, there's a lot of that. There's an awful lot of that, and I expect you can still find that. But if you're talking about living in a nice place, they've gone bonkers.
Bill's wife just sent in a picture. Jackson, do you have this up? Does anybody else have the EDF text inbox up?
Yeah, I got that.
It's a pretty good Google image.
She's wearing a Freedom sweater, the holiday edition. That was a Gangster Pete creation at InsideSTLShop.com. And she says, I refuse to show my face. Trust me, though. I'm hot, and my pronouns are she/her.
I don't know about those pronouns.
My guess is...
Hey, look at that. It's Bill's wife who says she's really into it.
Yeah, my pronouns are he/horny.
Oh.
Yeah, she's at doing her 12 to 14-hour shift. She's the breadwinner. He's sitting at home.
It's fine with me.
And he is now dragging
That's just what
his
Iggy's looking
wife
for.
into...
Shame you don't live in Florida and work in a rallies.
Because you would move down there?
I'd move down
for
there.
Bill's wife.
Yeah.
What about the fact that it's Bill's wife?
I don't know who's Bill.
She'd leave Bill. She'd leave Bill for you.
I think I gave her that name.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she said,
gave him
what's
that
my name? And I was just like, all right, I'll just give it Bill's wife or whatever.
Well, we can
that's
chat.
good news. She might not be married, Iggy.
We
This
can
could be
chat
a single
Bill's
lady
wife.
interested.
Yeah, we can chat.
Maybe she could be your date for the dinner. Doug's too busy, he said that night. But Madison and the Plowhawk, Jackson's going on Bumble, and you're looking for a date.
I got some ideas for a date.
Oh, really? Is it going to be Bill's wife?
It could be.
My guess is she's going to have some grandma issues.
Oh, and
Maybe
die.
a day
Grandma will
before.
die right
Yeah, you know
before.
how it is.
Well, I got to make sure that's her. I mean, the bait and switch thing on the patio's over. We got to do more digging into things before we...
When we had those girl next door contests, I mean, grandmothers were dying, dropping like
very
flies.
sad thing.
Bodies were floating down the Mississippi River like cordwood.
That was a big issue in that.
Oh, sure it was.
It was. It was an unfortunate issue. Tell her that the Doug's Glue Guzzlers are interested, pending pick review. That comes from Doug's Glue
Pending.
Okay.
Don't be jumping into my territory, glue guzzler. Glue guzzler.
Guys, I hope Pete is wearing a sweater today on the back of that truck. That is from the 314. Morning, fellas. Can you tell Jackson to quit swiping on my Tinder profile? I'm not interested. Thanks. That comes from Marcus Denman. I'm Vishnu's neighbor.
Oh.
Boy, did he hit a clutch shot in 2012 against the Jayhawks.
Boy, did he ever, Doug.
But would gay guys even use Tinder since they're in Grindr, or in Grindr
Nice
more of a
question.
hookup site?
It's a good question. Jackson, what's the answer?
I know you can set your preferences to male or female, so I'm
On Tinder?
Yeah, on all of them.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not. I don't know how Bumble would work then. Would the top be the one who initiates the message?
You can text in 314-881 TMA5, or you can call in.
It isn't that good of a question.
636-9004 TMA.
Once I put my age into Tinder, I've been doing a lot of swiping right.
What does that mean?
Well, didn't you once say your age is 115 years old?
No, one time I think I put 26,
Oh,
and I didn't know how to change it on
You can
Facebook.
pass as someone who's 26.
I didn't know how to change it on Facebook, and always getting these 22-year-old. I said, yeah.
I would think you'd want to set maybe the previous decade, like say you're 59, never go into the next decade, kind of like prices on items in a store.
No, but the one time I did put my age was, I think I was born in 1919, something like that, just to mess around.
1990.
How did it go for you?
103.
Well, yeah, I was going to grandma's. But on Tinder, I put my age in there. So now I'm just a lot of swiping right.
Now, why would they be related, your age and you swiping right?
Well, I'm not a lot of attractive old ladies out there.
Swiping right would be swiping yes.
Well, I'm swiping left.
Oh, you're saying no to everyone.
Yeah. Well, I'm no prize.
I saw a comedy
shallow.
routine on a gentleman talking about dating once you are over 50. And he said it's the equivalent of shopping at a thrift shop.
Oh God,
Man, dude.
what's that say about the women?
That sounds horrible.
Well, I think it's a commentary just in general.
The thrift shop.
You can find some great stuff at a thrift
It's
shop.
like the dollar store. I don't date though. I mean,
Now, you will take somebody to the date with me and Anna Marie and Plowhawk.
But see, I don't
Madison,
consider that a
whoever
date.
Jackson meets on Hinge.
To me, and I could be wrong, to me though, a date is you take out somebody hoping it leads to somewhere in a relationship, and that's not what I'm looking for.
What are you looking
You are going to pleasure yourself no matter what.
Yeah, I'm just looking for somebody to go out and have a good time, and if there's sex involved, great. If not, we have a good time.
Wasn't that a date?
But it's like, we had a great time.
Just another way of describing a date.
I can't wait to do it again. No, like I said, my definition of a date may be different than some others. My definition of a date is, go out, have a good time, but I'm not looking for a relationship.
That's not a date. Why would you take a date like that if you're not looking for a good time?
That's what I said. It's a different definition of a date. It's just companionship.
You're not looking for like a friend. You're not looking for a friend, a gal pal.
Kinda like that.
You are looking for that.
Guys, my boy from Tampa is trying to call in to talk about a Keisha Gray story he has, and you guys have 3 producers, and none of them are picking up the phone. That's from Flip Wilson.
I haven't seen anyone call.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's calling the wrong number, bro.
Plowsy and I can see the lights and nothing's flashing.
636-9004 TMA. Doug, maybe this is why the ladies haven't been on the air, is because they're calling in,
confused,
but maybe we've given out the wrong number? I don't know.
Jackson's typing so much, he probably doesn't have time to pick up the phone.
Like I said, it's really not it's in my periphery over here. So it's sometimes.
Oh, I can see it too. There's no lights flashing.
That's how it works if you see the lights flash?
If I see lights flashing, that means somebody's calling.
I still don't answer it, but...
No.
So I see somebody has texted in a story about hanging out with Keisha Gray and living in the same building as her, so maybe this is the person trying to call in. I'd love to hear that story. She's a friend of the show.
Is she living in Tampa?
She lives in Tampa, I do know that. I think she's from Tampa, and she's living there now.
And she's not the one who fell into Tampa Bay?
That's Lana Rhodes.
Lana Rhodes.
He's a friend.
You have to watch out when you're in Tampa Bay to not fall into the water.
Yeah.
It's not that big, so it's hard to find.
Everybody down there, my son lives down there now. Everybody says that St. Petersburg is like the coolest place in Florida.
Is that right?
And it used to just be really old people, average age.
I've
debt
never
in St.
spent outside of just flying through. I've never spent any time in Tampa.
St. Pete's cool.
Everybody says
So
it's
what's the
just
difference
great.
between Tampa and St. Pete? Is it like a St. Charles, St. Louis thing? Or
Tampa's kind of I like Tampa too, to be honest with you. But they're both
Good defense.
That is a great defense. Lovey Smith?
I thought that was Kiffin.
Oh, here
Kiffin
comes
Senior.
I got a
Monty.
call. I got a call
Monty
coming in
Kiffin.
here. Pop me down, Plowsy. I got a call.
I was there a few times for spring training back in the Cardinal days, and it was a lot of old people.
Yeah, it was,
Tampa?
but now it's
St.
St. Pete. Apparently now they've rebuilt a lot of it, and it's really cool.
Well, Doug, let's move down there.
I would love to.
Where are the old people going?
Where do we go?
All the old people
Villages.
places are now getting younger.
I don't know. I guess they probably.
Yeah, villages. That's even getting younger too. Used to be old. Now it's like 50-year-old dudes are going down there hoping to get laid.
Don't you think you would just...
Jupetown, baby, is young. I mean, obviously there's still old people there. Don't get me wrong, but it's younger.
Iggy, don't you think you would just tear it up at the Villages?
You would.
Oh,
You'd be the
without a
mayor.
doubt.
You'd be the mayor of the Villages.
Without a doubt.
Why don't you go down there and bang away?
We do a remote.
I like.
Yeah, we'll do a remote.
Oh, my God.
I want to keep this job for a while.
Well, yeah, I don't think you can be terminated for having sex in the Villages.
I would have to move there.
Well, we'll take a vacation down there.
I don't know if you can vacation in the
Doug,
Villages.
can you vacation at the Villages?
I assume that you could. It's a big place. They probably got a hotel.
I bet you
probably
they have
do now.
Airbnbs.
I guarantee. I know some bowlers that live there. I can probably find a place.
The bowling community's tight.
There's a couple of pro bowlers that live in the Villages.
Who lives there?
Retired Pro Bowler.
Doug Marshall Holman moved there
I don't know.
2019.
I think
Ray
Del,
Bluth is still in Glendale.
I think
isn't
Del Warren lives there. I think Bob Hadley lives there.
he? And they would just let you crash at their place?
I'm sure.
We got the Keisha Gray guy on.
Oh, why is Jackson sound like he's stretching?
I don't
Stretching?
know. What were
I
you
was
doing?
standing and then I tried to sit, and these chairs sometimes they move, so I had to. Come on.
I wish mine would move. I can't get mine to move
Doug,
up.
this is Keisha Gray guy.
Bob Bill.
Bob
Okay.
Bill.
Hello, Bobby. Bob.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much.
Bob Bill.
Hello, Bob. Bill.
Very good. Well, hey, I just wanted to call in. I know Doug said something about his son living in Tampa. And
Yeah.
You asked if he had seen Keisha Gray.
I didn't
So I wanted to call in to say that I actually live in her building.
Oh, you do?
And Doug, I don't. Obviously, you don't want to give your son's address away or where he lives, but
I don't
do you
know
know if he lives in Channelside, which is like downtown Tampa?
He's downtown somewhere. I don't know if that's the exact
In Tampa
building.
or St. Petersburg?
Tampa. I don't really know
yeah.
the name of the building he's in.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I live in Channelside, and rent is it's insane. So I moved here in March of 2021, and my lease is coming up, and my rent went up by 35%.
Sweet mother of mercy, Doug.
I heard that's what's going on. So you can't afford to probably live there anymore, can you? Or maybe you can. I don't know.
Yeah, we're okay, but it wasn't ideal.
It's kind of arrogant for you to say, we're okay.
Yeah, I know. That's probably not going to play well in the EDF text line. I'm just warning you, Bob Bill. So are you the one who ran into Keisha Gray, or is this somebody else?
Yeah, no, this is me. So she lives in my building. I've seen her a few times. Like, one thing that's kind of strange is, like, you think of her as, like, one of the thicker performers, I would say.
Thicker?
She's actually very slim, very slim.
Iggy, is she slim or is she thick?
But,
I never thought of Keisha Gray to be thick.
Anyway, my
Slim
friends
thick.
ran into her in the elevator one night, and one of my friends is kind of awkward, and he just said to her, like, hey, I like your videos. And she was kind of making fun of him, but they actually went up on the rooftop here and smoked a joint together.
Oh, wow.
And literally, so my friends are from Cincinnati and Kansas City. She just berated them the whole time for moving to Tampa.
They were cuckold victims.
It's a cuck.
Yeah, it's a cuck.
Why would she berate them?
There's got to be some sex
She
involved.
can't stand anybody that moves to Tampa from anywhere else. It's if you follow her on Instagram, it's pretty funny. Anytime she's in traffic, whatever, she just blames it on people that moved to Tampa.
So she's unhappy people are moving to Tampa because it's inconvenienced her? Is that the issue?
I would guess so. She just says that we're ruining her city.
Okay.
Huh. You going to Gasparilla next weekend, Bob?
Yeah, so that
I forgot. They can't
very
hear me.
interesting. But I've seen her at the pool a few
What
times.
the hell are you even talking about
she-
anyway, Jackson?
Gasparilla.
What was that?
Gasparilla Festival. It's like the big thing in Tampa.
Can you hear Jackson talk to you?
Nah.
No, sorry, Jackson. I'm not giving you the stiff arm like Ric Flair, but I didn't hear you, buddy.
He wanted to know if you were going to Sarsaparilla next week.
Gasparilla. Oh yeah, I got my pirate costume, and I already can't see out of one of my eyes, so I got an eye patch, and I'm ready to go.
Very nice.
Are you going to the Rammies and Buccaneers?
We may go to the tailgate. Not planning on going to the game though.
Sarsaparilla.
What about seeing Patty Maroon and the boys? You go to see them play?
We went to the Blues game when they played each other. And Tim, I went to the place that you referenced, Mons Venus.
Yeah, I've never been, but I've heard wonderful things. Is that still operating?
Yeah, so it's still operating, but the issue is you can't drink. They don't have alcohol inside, and when I walked in, they were like, yeah, if you want to drink, you have to go across the street to this gas station.
Nice.
You can get a drink there, and then you can walk back into the club.
Nice, yeah. That's how it is if you want to drink at St. Louis Country Club, too. There's a gas station right there on property.
Well, can't you just bring some alcohol?
I think I'm gonna pass.
Can't you just bring some alcohol in your car and make a drink in your car and walk in?
So according to the person at the front desk, you have to have this specific cup. So there must be some sort of deal between them and the gas station.
Classy. It just
Imagine
reeks of class.
Having to offset rent expensive by getting together with Conoco and having a drink.
Yeah, so it wasn't. I didn't go there. I ended up going somewhere else. But the talent was pretty good.
Talent was good at Mons Venus, Doug.
Was it? Okay.
Bob, Bill, thank you so much for the knowledge. Congratulations on moving to Tampa.
All right, I appreciate it, guys.
Tell
Thank you so
Keisha.
much, and I appreciate what you guys do.
Have Keisha call in.
All right, thanks, Bob. Bill.
I'll try. Thank you, guys.
All
Bye.
right, then.
Bob, Bill. Nice.
He just kind of wanted to rub our noses in it that he can afford the 34% price increase.
Do you have a number for Keisha? I think I did.
Yeah, I've texted with her before. But the last time she was on was when she blew off your Brie Mills question, so I don't know how great of a guess she would be.
Yeah, she won't remember. There's Caden.
We have Lisa Ann coming up in 10 minutes. Right now, it's time for our post drops of the week. Woo!
Hit the lever, Plowsy.
My bad.
Get the lever, Plowsy.
The Post Sports Bar and Grill presents Iggy's Drops of the Week.
What region of the country has the least amount of fat?
I would like to promote it, but I don't really have any information.
No, you look like $1 million, Tim.
Nice, thanks.
That is the first time he's ever involved me with his wife.
There's a lot of gay stuff on there, which I love.
You cuckolded me.
I got to tell you something. I'd bang me.
Oh, yeah, your husband can't do it like this, baby.
Who had more conquest, you or Wilt?
I don't know.
Back, streets, back.
All right. If I'm getting paid enough money, I'll slap you in the face with my penis. I don't care.
She doesn't have a penis.
Day holes turn to night holes. Night holes turn to day holes.
I didn't have a boner.
Oh, it's a maple long john, boys.
I'm watching porn.
We should sleep together.
Come on, man. You're going to get dragged.
The baby only cries when I pick it up. Look, a hand is a hand. Hey, Doris. How's the show going? Listen to those guys breathe. Shut up.
This used to be Bing Crosby's clam bake.
I guarantee she has never seen one of my DMs.
Have you DM'd me? Oh, my stepfather's chest is so hairy.
Today I would give the Pacer score and talk about Tervis Paris. What's his name?
Karis Levert.
I banged a bunch of dudes to get to a board-out position.
There, I know your son David was with Stacy Keebler for a while and could have been your sister-in-law. That brings a lot of the fats down.
Is there a walrus section?
Container for my coffee, kind of like a Venti. A Veti.
Yeti. Yeti.
Yeti. You can't win the Super Bowl unless you win all your playoff games.
Yeah, that guy had never had gay sex before then, I guess.
10 inches, I don't care.
As he sips from the Hoosiers goblet.
Well, the video came out of him having kind of dog sex. I want to finish. You won't let me finish. I'm like the bottom on this show.
Those are the people that don't understand what cucking is.
There's a tall twink. 90% of our listeners want to bang you. She knows I'm somewhat of a slut.
Rick, how do you think that your relationship with Offset, making the song with you and Metro Boomin, how do you think that affected your career?
Are you guys familiar with Mark Madden?
That was Iggy's Drops of the Week, presented by The Post.
What is? There's something going on. There's something going on here in the text inbox presented by Engineered Design Facilities. Jackson, what's going on? You know what I'm talking about? Are you in an argument with somebody?
Nah.
Action Jackson, with all due respect, I know your Tinder, Hinge, Bumble are dry as the Sahara, but I saw the way that Cyberg's bartender was giving you the F me eyes last weekend. I suggest you mosey on over there this afternoon so she can lick your translucent skin from head to toe. And then Jackson responds, "Sup, sweet Kai?"
Oh.
And then he writes back, "Give me airtime. I deserve it, punk."
Oh.
That's what they're really
What's
looking
going
for.
on?
It's my boy Kyle.
What's that?
Oh!
My friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's one
I'm
of
like, somebody's stalking Jackson,
it's
and
one of
Jackson fired back, and then he's banty as a rooster.
Does
Well,
he
that's
not-
wonderful, though.
Does he not have your phone number?
Oh, he does. He likes to text me. He likes to get involved. He's one of my closer friends.
Is he?
Yeah, sweet, sweet Kai.
Did he go to Ladue also?
That's right.
Is he also privileged?
Hey, he's Warren Watkins.
SS Kai?
No. Sweet.
Yeah, SS Kai.
What does that mean?
SGO Kai? He's got SS Kai.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Get this mother effer off the air. Hey, Bob Bill, you sound like a nice guy, but go fall into Tampa Bay whilst chained to an anchor. That's from Mitch of House Cumstein.
He was fine.
Well, in general, if you call into the show, the texters don't like it.
I didn't like how he said he could easily afford the 34% increase in his rent.
He didn't say that. He said he's okay.
He's okay. Well, that's the
He
same
didn't say he
thing.
could easily
He
afford
said,
it.
he brushed it
Well,
off.
you asked him the question. He answered it.
I know. I didn't
What
like
did you
it.
want him to be poor?
I wanted him to say, gosh, I guess I better move to a better facility.
Well, good for him that he's got some money he can stay.
I think that's why he called, just to let us know how much cash he's got.
No, that wasn't a humble brag.
You don't think that was a humble brag? You're pretty good at picking him off.
Yeah, that wasn't a humble brag. You asked the question. He didn't.
No.
He didn't come out and say, we're okay." You asked him the question.
I know.
So it's not a humble brag. He didn't call in to mention that.
Boy, it'll be tough. Times are tough all over. No. Sure, I'm okay. Raise it to whatever. Sure, I don't matter to me.
God, you guys look so effing hot on YouTube. Thanks. That's Eric in the Central West End. That's hot, man. I know a lot of listeners, like ladies, are into watching us on YouTube. I know it.
Do you?
Yep.
You've heard that? That's the word on the street?
Call the torture technique, Doug.
I always try to match my hat with something I have on.
Okay.
You know, like I always try to match my mask. I can show you.
Coordinate. Doug,
Now,
coordinate.
what does that match?
My
Because it's a
hat.
light blue.
My hat.
It's a dark blue hat
No, it's
with a
like
light blue mask.
Yeah, it doesn't match. I'm going to have to be
But the
honest.
pants you can't see are kind of greenish, and there's some green in this. But there's one little patch of blue in my shirt.
Doug, take a look at that.
That I
That's
can
it.
match.
Yeah, I can see that's
that I
what's
can
going
match
to
the
that.
hat with. So it's kind of a stretch, but there's some blue in the shirt.
You're a slave to fashion. That's what you are.
Well, I think we all know that.
Mr. Smith just said Mrs. Smith is viewing this morning.
Oh, hey, Mrs. Smith.
Hello,
Have you
Smitty.
hung out with the Smiths before?
No, I met them in studio. I think we were supposed to have a drink at one point, and then
What happened?
I don't know. I think they didn't show up, just like the
You keep getting stood up.
Fake couple.
Swinghaven board member.
Yeah, they are supposed to show up. She's not real, so you're not showing up with her.
You got ghosted by the guy, by the deuce of them.
But I think something came up. I don't think I showed up and they just didn't show up. I think we were supposed to meet for drinks and something came up, if I remember correctly.
Well, maybe you could rekindle that flame a little bit.
Yeah, you interested?
New year?
Yeah, at some point.
You know, this is not like being on the fan. You know, you're here because you want to be here. You're subscribing to what we do. So, I mean, if you want to go on there and, talk about Giambi or anybody else, be my guest. Mike in Long Beach. What's up, Mike?
Okay. We haven't even touched Jason Giambi all day.
That's like the prank.
Well, now, Iggy, the Smiths are going to want you to bring someone with you.
No, they're swingers, and I think the Smiths may be into threesomes.
Like the more popular MMF?
I think so. I could be wrong.
So are you comfortable with interacting with Mr. Smith?
Well, it wouldn't be an interact. He would be part of it, but it's
How
not
would
like...
he be part of it?
Well, he can be part of it where I don't have to interact with him.
I don't understand.
He's on one end, I'm on the other.
Now Jack is home.
I mean, we're in eye contact with each other, but I don't care. It's not
So
like-
do you stare into each other's eyes?
We're not crossing swords or anything.
Jason Giambi was a pretty good player, really.
I'm not sure
Home
what
runs for Oakland. And
I know they're swingers, but I don't know what they're into. Now, maybe they're just into, you bring another female around and me and Mr. Smith can watch.
So then you just sit there pleasuring yourself sitting next to Mr. Smith.
He can do what he wants.
there has to be someone, a lady in your age range, who's looking for the same thing as you are, and together you can become swingers.
Yeah, if I want to go hang out at Filoni's, I'll find one.
But you don't want to do that?
No.
Why not?
It's cold out.
Well,
It's
not always cold out.
When
Give it
it
another
warms
couple
up,
of
I
months.
do that. When it warms up, I love going on patios and hanging out, Filoni will have that door wide open and having some air breeze come in. You find some hag at the bar.
Not with that kind of talk, you're not.
No, that's all it takes.
I mean, obviously, Fowler's established.
Nice. I've missed that one.
Another Jim Beam, honey.
It's been a minute since I heard that one.
Oh, that's a classic. When in doubt, go to the classic. Guys, I think Mrs. Smith will hurl up her pasta plus just like the previous last. It's from Flip Wilson.
She can probably hold her liquor better. And be more couth.
Boy, they're coming in fast and furious.
Kenny, you're the only one who cares about what you wear, and you think about it way too hard. Seriously, the only person who tries to match everything they're wearing more than you is my 13-year-old niece. That's from Sister Patricia. She, of course, is over at St. Mary Magdalene.
She was. She'd be 170 if she's still there. Well, I mean, I don't come in looking like a slob.
No,
I
you
own
don't.
one pair of jeans. I don't even wear jeans. Around the house I will, but no, I try to look nice. Nothing I can do about the face, but I can do something about the clothes.
Captain Hijack at it again. No one cares about your $3 Aldi clearance rack clothes. That's from the Little Dutch Boy.
Well, you just commented on it, so you must care about it. If you don't care about it, don't comment.
Here's an opportunity for our audience to win 4 tickets to an upcoming Blues game, all-inclusive tickets in March. It's courtesy of the great people at Engineered Design Facilities, the sponsor of the text inbox. Any hot commercial property managers out there? All commercial property managers that email EDF and schedule a free evaluation of their fire system and lets them submit the most competitive and competent contract to service their property's fire alarm systems between now and next Friday, which is today. So it is today. This is the day to do it. You got to do it today.
Yeah, today.
We'll enter a drawing for 4 all-inclusive tickets to a Blues game in March in the Bull and the Bear Club. That includes full top-shelf bar included and parking passes. For the firms that do not win the Blues tickets, you'll get a $50 gift certificate to Olive and Oak. Come let us put out your fires, dirty little boys. That's what the copy says.
That's commercial copy.
That's what the client wants me to do it. That's
Paid
what I
for
do.
that.
It's correct, sir. It's correct.
Okay.
Fire at edf-rg.com. Fire at edf-rg.com. It is EDF, Engineered Design Facilities. And maybe you get to go to Olive and Oak the same night that Madison and the Plowhawk and me and Anna Marie and Jackson and his date from Hinge and Iggy and whoever Iggy decides to choose will be there. I mean, maybe it'll be Lisa Ann. She's going to join us on the other side of the break. We'll talk it over. She's going to spend 4 nights here in St. Louis, so it's going to be big doings. And she's going to talk about her brand new book on the other side of the break. Maybe take some 2-part questions, though. You want people to send in 2-part questions?
Just one part's fine.
314-881 TMA5.
Maybe we'll have dinner that Saturday. Maybe.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Wouldn't be a date, but
Would not be a date.
No, I already can't even watch her porn anymore. More or less date her.
Doug's Glue Guzzler has issued a statement. Mrs. Doug's Glue Guzzler thinks Iggy is a cutie, but he doesn't help his cause sitting next to Doug. That's from Mrs.
Yeah, because he puts me to shame.
That hurts.
Now, if I was sitting next to, like, Elephant Boy.
The Elephant Man.
Yeah, Elephant Man.
This is his son, though.
His son looks just like him, I suppose. Suppose you would.
All right, Lisa Ann on the other side of the break, plus the Bertarelli Cutlery Cuts of the Week coming up at 9:30 on the Captain's Log, and then we conclude with the Design Air Heating and Cooling email at 9:45. Me and Jackson go down the hall. We come and get our whooping. At 10:15, Jeremy Rutherford will be joining us on Balloon Party. Your questions are welcome. You can email them in for Jeremy at tmckernan at InsideSTL.com or post them on the TMA fan page. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 HD2 FM, The Potted Plant, TMASTL.com, and YouTube at youtube.com/TMASTL.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
A Swinghaven board member just sent in a picture of him and his wife, and it looks like they're on some stairs, maybe like at a casino or on a cruise ship or
probably
something.
Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Yeah, well, bring her in. Let us see that she's real.
Just bring her in. Parade your wives in. That's what we'd like to see next. Just make sure some of you have a significant other.
Doug, Mrs. Swinghaven board member, is 5'8", 125 pounds.
Sure,
she has blonde hair, blue eyes with 34D.
Yeah.
It dropped off a couple times. I don't know what that means. That's from Swinghaven board member.
I'm sure. Almost every girl you see is 5'8", about 125. That's just average.
Who's that one on there? Looks like she's missing some teeth.
That's more like it.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Somebody's wife?
I'm not looking at the pictures, and neither is anyone else listening to this show. They don't know what we're
Jackson's
talking
just
about.
scrolling, and the screen's right in front of me, but I can't see that far.
Somebody just sent a picture of Lana Rhodes. There with Lana?
Is that the one I was talking about?
Probably so.
Looks like she's missing some teeth.
Well,
It's a really good, like the
hockey can
quality
do
of the
that.
picture is
Hockey, meth, a lot of things.
4K.
Well, a lot of Rose look hideous. Where was that picture from?
I don't know. What pic? You can't keep saying, where's that picture from? People can't see them. They don't know what you're looking at.
Well, Tim can.
Okay, but that's two of you, and we've got a listening audience of 14.
I think now this is bizarre. Doug, we may have a situation here. The number the Lana Rhodes picture was sent in from is your number.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I guess somebody hacked me.
Doug, what's going on now?
No, explain that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, it is.
Iggy sent in a picture of Lana Rhodes, toothless. Is that what's happening now?
Yeah.
Did you send it, or did somebody?
No, I actually wanted that picture to be seen.
You did.
Yeah, but I don't want to say I did it, though.
And when you say to be seen, no one is seeing this but you. It's like you're playing a joke on yourself. No one else can see it.
Tim can, Jackson can.
Okay,
Brock
but
can.
we're broadcasting. There's 3 million people in this area that could possibly be listening to this. It just so happens that about 14 do. But they can't see the pictures you're talking about.
Rude.
No, we just described
What do you
it.
have to say about this?
We just described it. I was hoping somebody would say how hideous it looked.
No, I noticed that somebody.
How could they? We can't see it.
Did you just try to plant a way to make fun of something, to just bash somebody randomly in the show?
Not bash, just say, look at Lana Rose. Where's that from?
Now that's producing.
I think that was from Barstool.
You're
the day
a content creator.
She's trying to hit on YP.
Okay. Boy, this is weird.
I'm impressed, Iggy. Usually you just bash Lana Rhodes just out of the middle of nowhere. This time you tried to take some time and set it up on the show, and I appreciate the work.
I'll let somebody else do it.
You can imagine this is getting a response in the text inbox.
Man.
I really saw it, and I'm like, holy crap, somebody has Iggy's phone. Didn't even cross my mind
That it
you
was
sent
him.
it in. And initially you said you've been hacked.
The text is coming from the house. Get out.
I just figured nobody would know that number. You have him on your phone as Iggy or
Well,
whatever.
I got a weird memory.
Oh.
So, guys, let me get this straight. Iggy sent in a photo of a porn star who shaded him years ago, and he texted a photo of her himself and kept asking, is that Lana? Is that Lana who sent that?
That's right.
Wow.
That's what
Wow. That's from Randy Dirty Sheet.
Yeah, I tried to set it up.
Ray, if you cancel the previous order, we have a new. we need a new one.
Guys, Iggy just lied, and then he said he didn't send it in. He's been caught. That's from Daryl Duran. Daryl Duran.
Yeah, great soccer player. One of the greatest soccer players St. Louis has ever produced.
I could have lied and said it's not my phone number. Or I could have I got hacked. It wasn't me.
He's a good coach,
I said it was
too.
me.
Coach, played a long time. Indoor team.
Iggy is absolutely wild, and B. That's from
I mean,
Man
it's
Child.
quite obvious at this point someone is being lied to.
Yeah.
So it's not a lie. It's just a misquote of myself. Well, I got the reaction I wanted. We talked about it.
Has the show advanced?
No, that's not advanced.
Well, it's actually in response to the IM or the Instagram message that came up earlier where it does, don't I look good? I just kind of posted one that answer that question.
I'm texting Raby the siren emoji.
But she's never going to see that or hear this reaction.
Well, do you think she's going to hear the things I talk about all the time on the air either? Never?
Well, that doesn't mean I'm not any more baffled when you do it those times either.
Well, we're just having fun. Got to rise out of you.
Sexologist Ken Play, who also writes columns in South Dakota and has won awards for it, says, hey, guys, just tuned in to hear Boots plant evidence and then lie about it. Seems about right. You said you were hacked, you lying liar. Lies, lies. Tell me, sweet little lies.
And did you hear me laughing when I said that, too? And then Tim said, you were hacked. I go, no, that was me. So you may want to listen to the rest of the...
Actions speak louder than words. Yeah.
Celebrate your favorite team's touchdowns this year with Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey.
May their feet be swift and their aim be true. May the refs be forever in your favour and your whiskey always Tullamore Dew. Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, smooth sipping Irish whiskey, made exactly for game day moments like these. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy Tullamore Dew responsibly.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. You know the old saying, new year, new mortgage, and that's never rang more true than now. With mortgage interest rates sitting near all-time historic lows and home values skyrocketing, there's never been a better time to be looking at a refinance. We can lower your interest rate and save you a couple $100 a month and maybe even pull out some cash to pay off those credit cards and make those home remodel projects a reality. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Enterprise Contracting is your locally owned and operated storm damage insurance claims specialist in roofing, siding, and gutter replacement and repair. They can help evaluate your home for storm damage from hail and wind that the St. Louis area continually receives year-round. Work with the great Connor Lee at Enterprise Contracting. Give them a call and just mention the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 HD2 FM at 314-455-5000. That's 314-455-5000.
Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
And there's an issue with connecting with Lisa Ann, is that correct?
No. I think we're connected with her. I'm worried about her hearing us.
Oh, no.
Again, first time using the Comrex here, so...
But I thought we tested it the other day.
We did, and it wasn't working.
Oh, we tested it and didn't work? And so now when we get live on the air, all right, we're ready to go.
But
She said she heard me on the talkback.
Oh,
So
for
that's
heaven's
half the
sake.
battle. She heard the show on her end, which is, again, half the battle. So...
Okay.
She just needs the phone number.
I texted her the number.
Okay.
Can we put her up? Lisa?
Hello, Lisa. Hello. She's
Hi,
not
Lisa.
there.
It's Jackson.
She's calling in. Jackson's talking to her now.
You can hear her, though. So
Good, how are you?
If she can't hear
You may want
us...
to pot him down. He's talking to Lisa.
Sorry.
Oh.
Doug, sometimes I wonder if it's not the stations we're at, but it's us ourselves.
It can't possibly be.
I got to look inward here on this one. But, again...
What are you reflecting on, Plowhawk?
The fact that I think it is kind of funny now thinking back that we did test it and it didn't work. And,
and you left and said, all right, there we go.
We didn't troubleshoot. We just said, hey.
No, the problem was, and Lisa Ann got back to me, is that I forgot for each number, after each set of numbers I gave her, there's a dot after it.
Like a period.
Like 122.25.168 dot. I didn't put the dots in there.
Well, she's on hold.
Okay.
Oh, we're going to try it
Guys,
again?
this is the least surprising thing I've ever heard. That's from the Concord Caulk. God bless America.
Lisa hope she can hear
Look, I know nothing about the board. Sorry, Lisa Ann.
Lisa Ann, are you there?
I am here. It is totally okay. I had the moment after I, worked the Comrex because this little tiny screen, you got to put these things in. It's not that easy. And then about halfway through my day, I was like, there's supposed to be dots in there. Let me go back and try this again. Then I listened in on a couple other shows on your network. Luckily, they couldn't hear me. And then I found you guys this morning around 8:30. Got to listen in a bit. So on my end, the job is done. It is up to you to press the right button, and I understand how scary that can be. So don't just go pressing buttons like chasing butterflies or waterfalls.
Oh, yeah, TLC. Was that
phone.
96, Doug?
I don't know the years, Tim.
This is definitely on us.
Chasing
for sure.
waterfalls.
Well, he's hit the right buttons to get her on. So.
Well, she's on the
She's
phone.
on the phone.
Oh, come on, Blousy.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Lisa. And we really are spoiled by how clear you sound when you're on the Comrex.
I know. I like it better, too, just so you know. I wish I could talk to my friends on that thing. I mean, it's just so flawless.
It really is. It really is the best. But it's wonderful having you on either way. You have a book coming out. What is going on? I want to know all about it. I can't wait to read it.
The book is already out. I will be sending you all a box of copies to the studio when I'll get Iggy to send me an address. It's really the continuation of The Life. It's called The Life Back. You can get it from my store right now at The Life Lisa Ann. You can also, in a couple of weeks, it will be on Amazon. And it's really this continuation of 2015 to 2019, and you guys get a mention and a photo, so you know
Doug!
there is a legendary
Lisa Ann's
package about you guys.
A photo from the golf tournament?
Yes.
Oh, that's a great treat. Nice. Fabulous.
Nice. Doug, we made it.
Yeah. I'm not sure I've been in a book before, if my picture made it on there.
Are there any big reveals in the book? Not that you would give them away, of course, on the show today, Lisa Ann, but anything for the audience that might be, we're trying to get better at teasing here on this show. Is there anything that would be a great tease?
Yes. There are some big reveals in this book. I tell a lot of truths that I didn't really tap into in my first book, The Life. As well, it starts out, it is a heart-pumping, adrenaline-pinching intro. I tell a story that I'm not sure everybody really knew, the details of the story of what I went through for a year, and it starts out with the first of many a series of casualties and events in my life that led to where I am right now. So it's I'm very proud of it. It was much easier to write this time than my first one. It's a much shorter book. I made it a cover-to-cover read, so if you're someone that likes to sit with a book, it should be easily read in about 4 hours.
Oh, wow.
Which makes it really nice and digestible. Yeah, I took some classes, guys. I learned that if people close a book 4 times, they're 90% chance of never finishing it. If they close it 2
that
times,
is interesting.
50% chance of not finishing it. Yes, people want to be drawn to the story, and now that people binge watch television shows, they also do the same thing when they sit down with a good book.
Oh, that's an interesting little piece of data there. I'd never heard that. Makes sense. I said that about Joe Buck's book. Doug, do you read Joe Buck's book?
I haven't yet.
It's a very digestible book.
Yeah.
It gets right to it. So you're saying it's an easy read, Lisa Ann?
Easy read, very digestible book. I know that, I put a tease out there on Twitter since we're working on teasing.
Yep.
And not teasing from my previous life, teasing on the radio, 2 terms, very similar. We have an announcement that I'm going to be back with you guys in real time, in person, in May for the Dotem.
May 19th and May 20th, Doug. She is coming back. The Dotem is coming back. We're going to do it on a Thursday and Friday. I know, Doug, you thought it would be good to do it on a Monday and Tuesday in October, but we thought May on a Thursday and Friday with Lisa Ann would be better. Michael Wellington's charity, Birdies for Bipolar, will be the beneficiary with portions of the proceeds from the event going to that. And Lisa Ann, we've already been meeting here at our brand new radio station twice. We've met twice about this event and have been talking with Normandy. And you and I were texting last week. And Lisa Ann is coming in on May 18th and sticking around for a few nights. And the Dotem with Lisa Ann will be back at Normandy. And Lisa Ann's going to be in town.
Nice.
And Lisa Ann's going to be in town.
She's going to be here.
Yes.
I cannot wait. I can't believe it's been 2 years already. Can we just start doing stuff again?
I know, isn't it nuts? Yeah, I mean,
About time.
Yeah.
New York has been especially locked down, hasn't it?
I don't even want to talk about it. I mean, it is so locked down that things are just out of business. I mean, it's kind of weird because I'm used to it by now, but it feels like 10% of the New York that I've known.
10%, really?
There's blocks where once one thing went out of business and another thing went out of business, and the whole block is now just boarded up. And to see that in Midtown is really something else. And having to close Broadway shows again about a month ago really hurt restaurants that were just starting to pick up momentum. It's just very different. It's kind of nice not to be bumping into people everywhere you walk, whereas you see an old New York TV show like Sex and the City, which I'm sure you guys watch all the time.
Yeah.
The streets were just packed. It's shoulder-to-shoulder people, and now it's not like that at all. You see 5 or 6 people on your walk, and that's it.
Do you find it odd, too, because I know Saturday Night Live went with no audience and Broadway shut down again, but then you see, all these NFL players testing positive, and luckily a lot of them are vaccinated, so it's just like a minor cold, but they have to go through the protocol. But they're still letting 90,000 fans with no mask into each stadium.
I feel the same, Iggy. It's something that I've been thinking about this whole time because I think we all started to take this seriously when the NBA shut down in March of 2020. So we were like, oh, wow. And then the NBA came back with no fans. And then we had NFL with no fans. And then this year it's been this, spotty situation where it's really government. When I got to go to Florida last month, I was shocked at how different it felt in a place where everything's open, everything's thriving, people are just going about their day. And that's really what we have to get back to. This is clearly an endemic at this point, And we have to learn to live with it. We have to be prepared. Everyone should have tests at home. I always have tests at home. Everyone should be willing to test when they're traveling to see friends and family and just be, take those precautionary steps. But the NFL and the NBA and all these other venues, I mean, hockey was different because the broadcast made that very different in Canada, and the strict regulations getting in and out of Canada made it very different for hockey. But yeah, it's been kind of bizarre. I'm ready to put this all behind us. I turned 50 this year, and I want to just travel all year and see people and hang out and have a great time.
Lisa Ann, we were talking about the real estate market in Florida. Probably one of the reasons why it has been thriving is because many people in New York around you have gone, okay, enough of this. A, the pandemic, and B, the weather. And we're just going to live and enjoy year-round outdoors. And so the real estate's gone up there. I'm curious, you being in Manhattan, whereas they've seen 40% year-over-year increases, whether it be on rent or home values, are you seeing rent there decline as far as pricing?
It's odd because it declined a lot during the pandemic, and now it's right back to where it was before the pandemic. As a matter of fact, quite a few of my friends are having to move. Because they moved in during a pandemic deal, and now the landlords are trying to make that money back, so they're tripling rent. So there's been a lot of movement going on, and it's surprising. But I think in a situation like buildings like mine, people move in and don't really move out unless they're leaving New York completely. But it is shocking. But I also think more people that work in this city that used to take the train no longer feel safe taking the train, so they'll pay a little bit more to live in this city, and I think that's what's putting a lot of units, a lot of rentals, and making everything fill up because you do not want to commute anymore. You do not want to go underground and take the subway. Safety is definitely an issue.
And that's not the pandemic, that's crime?
Crime, for sure, Doug, for sure. But I will say this about Florida when I was there. The traffic reminded me of Los Angeles traffic 10 years ago before it got just gridlock every day. Man, trying to commute from Clearwater to Tampa, which is only, a 30-mile ride, was easily 2 hours every day.
That's why Doug's son has moved down there, and we were playing, or somebody called in, actually, in our 8 o'clock hour, who lives in the same building as our mutual friend Keisha Gray, and says that Keisha Gray constantly complains about all of the people that have moved to Tampa because it's destroyed her city.
Oh, that's so funny. I do see it, though. I mean, the population there reminds me of what the population was like here in New York, and I think it's just really strict here still. I mean, you have to show your back card and your ID everywhere you go. You have to wear a mask everywhere you go. And when you go other places and it's not that way, it's like, oh, yeah, that's right, it's different here.
Yeah, you wouldn't notice much different in St. Louis. I mean, people wear masks, but everything else is wide open.
Right, and it's different because you guys have cars, right? In the city, we're relying on public transportation.
Yeah.
No,
so we're walking or what have you.
Hey, I saw. I didn't watch it. I saw your clip of it, and I will watch it. I haven't got a chance because I watched all your podcasts. But you had my fave on Cherie DeVille the other day.
She's your favorite.
Yeah, her and Lisa Ann.
Okay.
That's why I posted two of my faves. Did you do that interview before the Portnoy thing where he said he's throwing her in jail?
Oh, I didn't even see this. When did this happen with Portnoy? I'm so sorry. I interviewed Cherie, I want to say, a week or 10 days ago because the podcast came in on Monday. So probably a week ago.
She posted it after the Bills beat the hell out of the Patriots. So it was. She posted it after you did the interview, so you didn't miss it.
Okay.
Okay.
She's one of my favorites because she's brilliant. But what's going on with her? Why is she going in jail?
Oh, it was just she used, I think, a screenshot from the Portnoy sex tape that got leaked, and she put like a Bills.
She put a Bills logo over Dave's face, and then the Patriots logo over the face of the girl who was taking the high hard one, and she was making an analogy to what the Bills had just done to the Patriots.
Was that a good idea? I'm not sure.
Clip that off.
You know what I mean? I don't know because, we're in the business. We understand distribution laws, even if it is Twitter or social media. Both people have to present IDs and say they were willing participants. We don't know if that's the case. We know Dave isn't that happy that it got out. Wow, she's so bold. That's what I love about Cherie. She's like the silent killer. She's sweet as pie. But then she'll do something and you're like, whoa, Okay, all right.
Yeah, she went from
Yeah, what is the upside when you're making that post? Is what
no
you
upside.
said.
No upside.
No, listen. I have so many opinions that my friends have to listen to all the time in person because I'm afraid to say them publicly. So they have to hear all of my strange thoughts. Everybody else gets to see positive Lisa pushing her 100 books a day to the post office. And my friends are like getting news stories. I'm like, you have to call me tonight. We have to talk about this news story. I want to break it down.
Yeah, it was amazing with her. You know, she kind of just blew up. I mean, she had been doing things for a while because she was, I think, a physical therapist. She has a degree in that. And when she got into porn, it's like nobody really knew of her. When I interviewed her at the AVNs, and we actually interviewed her in her hotel room with Alex Lynx. She was up there, a good friend of yours.
Oh, she's a doll.
She
Yes.
is a sweetheart. But she was up for her first AVN for MILF of the year, and ever since then, I mean,
Was that the first year she was up for?
that
MILF?
was,
Or
and she
the
won
second?
that year, and I think she's won the last 2 years after that, and now she's all over the place. But she just kind of blew up in the last 3 or 4 years.
It's because she works hard. You know, she puts out a ton of content. She interacts with her fans. She works hard, just like anything else. If you work hard, you eventually get recognized. She's beautiful. She takes incredible photos. She loves to do set design. Like, she puts a lot of thought into the little photo shoots that she does, and they pop on her page. And she's also very brilliant. I had her on Dudes Do Better to talk about her new bit that she's doing on IG that's called Cherie Reads DMs. And it's hilarious because she's got such a good tone when she's, like, trying to read in their voice. So it's really funny.
Yeah, we should do that.
What are you doing?
Read our text.
Do you get some good ones, Iggy?
Oh, I get DMs every day.
do you?
I get the.
Oh no.
I've got two the last 2 days. Why can't I get on the fan page? Can you put in a word for me? And you have no. You have
It's
no
like getting into
profile.
Belle Reve.
You have no profile picture. I mean, nobody's going to think you're real if you just have a blank profile picture.
Lisa Ann's on the fan page. She got into Belle Reve.
Thank
easy to
you.
get in.
I appreciate this so much. I will bring books in May as well. So when we do the remote, I have some books to give out to your listeners.
Nice.
Are you willing to do what you did? I guess the first year you came in was 2018.
Oh, the dating game?
The dating game, yes, where you went out with a couple and we
do
had like
this.
5 or 6 couples. What would you say? I'm sorry, I was talking over you.
Yes, let's do this. I really enjoyed the most was that, like, Iggy or was it Mac? Somebody had to sit at the restaurant with us, like at another table, like a creeper. That was kind of my favorite part.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Bodyguard.
Mac, your bodyguard, did. I couldn't beat anybody up, so I'm no help.
Just to make sure nothing really went on. So we can get all these couple. I mean, Doug's Glue Guzzler, whose wife's on OnlyFans, they're always looking. And Scott's Wrinkled Ball Sack and his wife. And Doug, we have so many listeners who sleep with each other. This will be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, this will be fantastic.
Yes, it's exactly what you were looking for. I would like to fly to St. Louis and meet with the listeners who all sleep with each other. That's what you're looking for.
That's what happens in flyover country.
Well, you know, it's kind of the story of my life. You know what I mean? I'm used to this conversation. It's a great topic. I like to see people just flying their free flag. Like, let it fly. Enjoy life.
Amen. That's the name of the game. That's the name of the game.
Well, that's fun. That's an announcement right there.
That's big. The dating game and the Dotem, Lisa Ann, May 19th, May 20th. We're going to do a TMA Live somewhere. I know we did it at the Fenton Hot Shots in, May of 2018. So perhaps we'll return.
Yep.
We'll see.
Or maybe Dorset and another patio party afterwards.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. I don't know if you have enough space for that one.
No, Dillian was one thing, to have 50 people out on the pasture. But Lisa Ann, I would need the pasture would be filled.
Need Enterprise Center, I think.
I mean, Iggy seems to really prefer to do interviews in hotel rooms. Do you notice that he always lets us know I was in a hotel room with this girl?
There is a
who did
theme
this
there,
interview.
right?
I think Cherie was just the only one I did in a hotel room.
I thought that Peter North and his
they couldn't
wanted
find
you
the
to-
place.
Wanted you to come, and didn't one of them want to spend the night with you, but not like they wanted to just room with you?
Oh yeah, that was. And I guarantee Lisa Ann knows who she was. She didn't stay in very long. But Zoe Fox.
And she has to share a room with you?
She wanted to share a room, and then she said,
Why?
"I'm bringing my husband manager with me." And I said, "Nah."
They were just looking
Isn't
for
that a
place to
strange
stay for
request,
nothing.
Lisa? Is that common in the industry?
Oh, my God. They just wanted to share a room with you because they probably didn't want to pay for it on their own.
Oh, without a doubt.
Bingo.
She had no money. I was talking to her about coming. I said, "I'd like to do an interview," and she goes, I don't know if we can make it. We really don't have the money for a hotel. And I said, well, I've got a room if you don't mind sharing the bed. I only have one bed, but you can stay with me.
Someone's going to get cuckolded.
And she was excited. She goes, oh, really? You don't mind? I said, no, not at all. She goes, I'd love to. And then she got back. She goes, it'll be me and my manager husband.
Oh.
And then I came up with an excuse. You know what? I don't think if you're walking through with your luggage, they're going to know you're not staying here. And then one thing led to another. They had no money to come.
Yeah,
anyway.
buy and blow for two people can kind of drain that bank.
She had a sad story. I mean, I think I think she's back in the industry, but she had a sad story. I mean, her husband, I think, is kind of disabled from the war, and she married him, and then they had a baby that died like a year after it was born, and yeah, she had a sad story.
Oh my gosh, Iggy, this is not morning radio conversation.
Well, we were talking about Zoe, and I decided I would tell
You brought up Zoe Fox.
I thought I would tell the story.
I didn't bring up Zoe Fox. I don't know who it is.
But she's back in the business, doing well, and but yeah, they wanted to stay with me, but I think it was just for a free room. They didn't have a lot of money.
It's a tight read.
And I feel bad because she was so cute, and she had a great personality. Then again, not a great manager, not a lot of publicity, not with the right people. That's when you don't make it.
You know, Iggy, maybe your calling is to be a manager for these women in the industry.
What isn't that the term suitcase pimp?
Clip that off.
I mean, I don't think he would be that because he's not going to be living with them. He's going to have multiple women that he's managing. But he could be like a Spiegler. Or like in the 90s, there was this guy, Lucky. And Lucky only took a handful of girls at one time. Like he had Shayla LaVeaux, Julia Ann, Diana Loren. And Lucky went everywhere with them, would drive them to set. He managed all their PR. And all of those girls did, Tia Janine, all of those girls did so well. But it was very hard to get in with Lucky.
Wow, you could be lucky.
Yeah, I would do that. I would only want like 5 or 6 so I could spend a lot of my time on just them. I don't want like Spiegel like 50.
That's the Lucky blueprint.
No, the suitcase pimp was like Leo was with Dillian. You know, he'd get up there and sweep the dollar bills off when she got off stage.
You could do that, too.
I'm not doing that.
Doing that.
That's menial work.
Hey, Lisa, we have a couple two-parters here. Even though I know you're not on the fantasy football train, I'm sure you're monitoring it. What did you wind up against the spread, by the way? I couldn't believe it when you told me whatever the hell your number was against the spread. I mean, that's ridiculous.
You know, I took. I don't play a lot during the playoffs. I will say that I don't like to put a little bit of money down during these games. Now, Sunday's game for the Cowboys. Like I woke up that morning, and I said the Cowboys are going to lose.
Wow.
But as a Cowboys fan, can I put money on the Cowboys losing? I was so devastated because I felt this when I woke up that I listened to the game on the radio. I listened to Spiro Didi's call on NFL Network. Because I knew we were going to lose, and it would upset me more to watch it. I mean, this is our 10-year challenge, Dallas Cowboys, first round of the playoffs. We're out. Like, it's something we're doing. It's a thing.
Oh, it is. Did you wind up wagering on it?
No, I can't wager against my own team, even though I know they're going to lose.
Yeah, in a playoff
Isn't that
game,
bad juju?
I do it. I do it to manage my emotions. If I'm going to be emotionally leveraged if they lose, but if the team sucks. Some people think Missouri football isn't good in this studio.
Wait, what?
And I'm like, oh, there's an edge betting against Missouri. I'm going to do it, especially if it's a game that really means nothing. You take advantage of it because sometimes we know as fans better than Las Vegas does what the outcome is. So here's what the outcome is going to be. Let's see. Doug's Glue Guzzler with the text. Doug, Lisa, two-parter. Do you think the Bengals have a legit chance to win the whole thing? And second question, want to collab with my wife on OnlyFans. That's from Doug's Glue Guzzler, so he's putting it out there.
Okay.
Well, since it's your wife, you really don't need to worry about the testing protocol in this normal situation that other people would. Would there be other men involved? If so, then you should test. I would make sure maybe a little spray tan goes a long way, because you're going to realize how white you look once you're on camera and how bright your skin is compared to hers. And be on the lookout for makeup because makeup can rub all the her face onto yours and it looks really strange on camera. And it's something that the rookies don't realize.
Wow, Doug,
the
that's thorough.
Cincinnati Bengals are an amazing team. I love Joe Burrow so much. I love watching him. I love Jamar Chase, that connection. But we cannot sleep on the Tennessee Titans. No one thought they would even be this far without Derrick Henry. And they had some big wins this year without Derrick Henry. They get to play at home. This is going to be a great matchup. If Cincy wins this game, then I think they can go pretty far, but I don't see them in the Super Bowl.
There it is. Is there a play that you love this weekend? I know you said you don't really follow it as closely.
Oh, my God. The play that I love, of course, is Green Bay. I mean, San Fran, thank you very much for knocking out my Dallas Cowboys, but you are finito. You are done. Green Bay Packers going to win this game no matter what.
That's
so whatever you're
I like hearing it. I know the Plowboy, who's a big Packers fan, loves hearing that. I've noticed, at least I see it. Now, maybe you're seeing other things, but that the number had moved in the 49ers direction, that it got down to 5.5. It's at 5.5 now as we're talking. And I feel like a lot of people are on the 49ers, and I don't know if that's a prisoner of the moment thing based on the Cowboys game last weekend or what, but with that temperature in Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers at Green, I don't know. I certainly could see it, but I feel like a lot of people are on the 49ers. So that's surprising that you are so adamant that it's Packers time.
I am adamant. I am adamant. There is absolutely no way. You brought up the temperature. Playing in Green Bay, playing at Lambeau is a different experience. I don't think San Fran has what it takes. I think they had the Cowboys' numbers. That was an easy win for them. Now they're going to go in there, and it's recency bias. Like you said, prisoner of the moment. Yep. Recency bias that San Fran is that good. Okay, is San Fran that good, or is it that the Cowboys are always knocked out in the first round? Now San Fran has a real opponent. This is going to be a different game. Packers are going to win it easily by a touchdown, and Aaron Rodgers is going to go out there. I mean, I listen to Aaron Rodgers every single Tuesday on the Pat McAfee show. You get to know him so well. He's got a book club. He gives a book every week. He's hilarious. I love how misunderstood he is in the press. And I love how many people daily go on social media and talk about what a horrible example he is and the type of person he is. Everybody needs to relax. He's a football player. He didn't stand up and try and run our country. He's not a congressman. He's not trying to teach your children. He's a football player. Fall in love with the uniqueness of these people because that's so important. And I like what he's about. He's got a winning mentality. They're going to win this game.
Well, there it is, Doug. Put your money on it. When she was like sick against the spread, too. Like 60+% or something. I mean, that's an absurd number.
I could have used you earlier in the year.
That is an absurd number. All right, we got to get going. It's always great to talk to you. I love it. We could talk to you for hours, but I feel badly that we keep you as long as we do. The big announcement, Doug, Lisa Ann is coming back to St. Louis for the Dotem.
All right, that's great news.
May 19th and May 20th. We'll do a TMA Live somewhere on May 18th.
Dating game's back.
And the dating game is back.
Oh. And where can they find the book?
I also think we should have a two-part question segment that night just for Doug.
That's right, Doug. That way you can ask two-part questions, too.
Yep. You can find the book. You can just go to shoplisaann.com, and it'll take you right to my store. So go in there. Both books are in there first, and this one comes in paperback and hardcover. So super stoked about it. Sold my first 500 in 8 days. I'm working on my second 500.
Look at you. Tip of the cap. That's I'm really looking forward to reading this. This will be great. Lisa Ann, congratulations on the book, and we are super excited to have you back in St. Louis. Thanks, Lisa Ann.
Talk to you soon. Thank you.
See you, sister.
Thanks, gal.
The best. The absolute best.
She is the best.
She really is. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm good. I mean, I just hit her up, and then within minutes, she responded and said, that's good. You know, I'll take care of this and take care of that. You guys can take care of that.
Shame we couldn't have got her on the Comrex.
The thing is, though, and it's just a tweak on my end. She heard us.
Yeah.
That's the key. She was able to, connect. So it's just, again, our end. And we'll get better, Doug.
Well, we can
Maybe,
practice.
I don't actually know.
Well, I mean, Marshall, who is the chief engineer here, if he's made aware of it, he is in literally within an hour of getting an email about something and fixing it. You know, it's an incredible thing. Like the camera thing when Nikki Glazer was in here, she was in the one spot that you couldn't see her.
Right.
I was in here after Balloon Party just answering emails, and he comes in. Hell, was that 11:30? Was he in here when you were in here? You were in here too, Plowhawk, right?
Yeah, that was when he realized the meow.
Ah, yes.
And was like kind of looking in the studio.
He didn't like that.
He thought there was a kitten hiding in the studio. Didn't realize. But and then they immediately tended to the cameras. Yep. So if something's wrong, they fix it quick, fast, in a hurry. Hey, it is Friday, and it is 9:40, and that means it's time for the Bertarelli Cutlery Cuts of the Week.
Cuts of the Week are brought to you by Bertarelli Cutlery. Visit them on the Hill or online at bertarellico.com. Cut 1.
I was on Hedo board, and is there a way, we're going to be at Sandals, is there a way to sneak into Hedo?
Oh.
I said, yeah, just go on through. Nobody's going to stop you. Have fun. Jeez. Somebody replied.
You let her have it.
Somebody replied, oh, way to go. Give her that stuff. How about the people that pay? Oh, I'm getting banty on there. The one lady who's in there now goes, now my husband, we're swingers, and I hooked up with 3, and my husband hooked up with 5. Oh, and you tested you tested positive. What a shock. Oh, shut up.
Yeah, shut up. That's enough from you.
I asked a simple question, and you think I'm gonna hurt the Jamaican economy if you don't go to Hedo. It's a third world country.
Hey, moron.
Yes.
What makes you think anyone cares what you post to the Degenerate Nude Resort Board?
Well, they do.
Jeez, that's from Tracy Woodson.
Yeah.
Cut.
2. I was talking to Iggy from the other show, and he's a big fan.
It was worth it. You did it. That was like his Make-A-Wish or something.
I know, it really was.
You know, we don't know how long he's going to be around. So, that was a good deed.
He can come off a tad creepy.
Yeah, he was just so nervous. I think that he couldn't even look at me. It was really sweet.
For over a year, he said, I've gone through her people.
He
and no
quoted
response.
my jokes back to me where I was like, that's funny. I didn't even remember saying it. I was like, that's a good one.
Yeah, he's like, what, is he just coming down to your studio to see Chris? And I was like, no, she comes on our show all the time.
Yeah, I listen to their show every day.
Is it possible we could get you a sedative to calm your nerves?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I think she listens to the show. I think she's heard people say that I'm nervous when I'm around Learn. I'm nervous.
Yeah,
when I do
he was
this.
just so nervous. I think that he couldn't even look at me. It was really sweet.
Oh, you left that part out. He's sweet. Thank you.
See, there you go. That's a compliment.
I'm sweet and I'm dead, and there's a Make-A-Wish
Creepy.
thing.
Somebody said creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Courtney said that. He can come off as creepy.
Comes off as creepy and different than creepy.
I mean, you took a lot of shrapnel in 30 seconds on 106.5 The Arch.
Yeah.
Cut.
3.
All right, Doug, well, let's take a listen.
Can't trust this fella.
All right.
There's a reason he's been
wow,
suspended
it's 45
indefinitely.
Perfect.
My wife's father, Bill, is a passionate sports fan. And yesterday, he told me he had so many hot sports takes building up inside of him that he wanted to come over after supper and just release those sports takes all over my chest. He came in hot, saying that this new Cardinals manager is too young and inexperienced and is not set up for success. I disagreed with him, so he ripped my shirt off and pressed his cold, dark hands against my nipples. And my pant started to take on water. We kissed. We shared passion and a platter of asparagus. His waste pond formed our bond. Think about it.
He wanted that.
That's more.
He wanted that bird on 101.
Yeah, it'll go well over there.
It's so good.
It's not that good.
It's like an NPR. If NPR went dark.
The delivery is wonderful.
Cut.
I'll leave it at the 4.
Even east, even right across the river doesn't count, right?
Well, that's not Missouri, so no.
612 doesn't count. 618.
No, that's not Missouri.
But it's St. Louis area.
Just because you live close to here doesn't mean you live here.
I think if you live in Belleville or Edwardsville or East St. Louis, you think you live in the St. Louis area.
You get your forecast from Illinois people.
Well, they don't have their own TV station.
That's a shame.
They're part of the St. Louis market.
I don't cover your forecast over there.
Just the river's not going to change the weather much, if at all. Not at all.
It's a different state and a different area code.
Okay, but it's close.
I don't care. I give Missouri forecasts. I don't give Illinois forecasts.
I just don't know how you divide it on state lines.
That's how the weather works.
That's what I do.
Come on, Doug.
My Doppler doesn't notice things that go past 314 and 636. I don't care what's going on in 618. You're close. Do you pay Missouri taxes in Illinois?
Taxes are different.
I'm close to St. Louis. Can I pay Missouri taxes?
Taxes are a state-to-state issue. Weather isn't.
Weather is state-to-state when it comes to my Doppler.
Cut.
5.
Took a screenshot of Kisner 5 under on Saturday through 13 holes, and I think Henley was 1 under, whatever, through 4 holes, and Kisner was 1 back, and he took a screenshot of it. And I said, why don't you just do the screenshot at the end of the round when he's 5 back? He's coming. He's 1 back. Well, he'd been at 5 back after Saturday, so I mean, it's just the ass kissing.
Okay.
You don't think a salad tastes better with cracked pepper?
And when they do the ass kissing, they talk in a voice like this.
Yeah, like little boys. I mean, you see their faces. They were filming as Tiger walked by and gave one of them a fist bump, and one of the guys on the show, he looked at us. You see that? He's looking all around, smiling and giggling. Oh, Jesus! Act like you've been there.
Yeah.
I got a pat on the ass from Tiger. I didn't go screaming.
What'd you do to get the pat?
I was at his breakfast when he was here for the, which I brought here. I brought the clinic here. They invited me to have breakfast with him and Earl.
Commander McBride.
And well, it's not bragging. It's just a fact.
Cut.
6.
Okay.
Yeah, just somebody who's going to have fun and enjoys a good meal. You know.
Well, everyone enjoys a good meal.
Yeah, some people don't come to Olive & Oak and I love the salad.
Well, it shouldn't affect your enjoyment, what they eat. Don't be a food snob.
I want you to come and have a nice meal. I love a salad.
Well, if that's what they consider a nice meal, then that ought to be good enough.
I don't want you there.
If they order a salad, you don't want them.
I want somebody's going to chow down on a big ribeye or... No, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to have an orgy. I don't know if I'll have the ribeye. Doug, are we going to have an orgy or not?
Well,
I doubt it.
We'll have after dinner drinks after. So you have time to settle the stomach, yeah.
Port and chicken tenders.
Yeah, I'm going to go wash down my chicken tenders with port.
We're not going to Charva House. Yeah, somebody's going to have fun. And somebody who won't ask a lot of questions about the show. I don't like that when I have people in the patio. And, so, did this really happen? I'm not talking about the station or the show.
Oh,
we're just here to have fun.
No work talk.
But they're listeners of the show, so
I
that's
play
why they
golf
would be
with
interested.
listeners, and they want to... Hey, man, is this really happening between you two? What's he like? I'm not talking about the show.
Come on, you could talk a little bit about it.
I don't want to get into business when I'm...
This is not really business.
Because I may have a bottle of wine and just start spilling the beans on everything. Let me tell you about this idiot.
Well, what if she says, I'll get naked and have sex with you if you reveal a little bit about the show? Would you?
We'll negotiate, yeah.
There it is.
There can always be bartering.
This show is so consuming for you that the fact that someone might ask a question about it, that's when they cross the line and you just can't handle that. And those were the cuts of the week.
Doug, there it was. The Bertarelli Cutlery Cuts of the Week. Stratum Structural Systems is online at stratumrepair.com. 314-620-8153. I was talking to somebody yesterday who has issues with flooding in their basement. If you are dealing with that, you know that it is an absolute miserable experience. Anytime there's precipitation, you worry, here we go again. 314-620-8153 is the number for Stratum Structural Systems. Online at stratumrepair.com. Think local, think Stratum. Stratum Structural Systems, waterproofing and foundation repair. Work with the great Brett Groman, the great Matt Ford, and their 2 locations in Chesterfield, Missouri, and Columbia, Illinois. It's Stratum Structural Systems, basement crack repair, foundation peering for settling homes, bowing or rotating wall repairs, basement waterproofing services like sump pumps, egress window installation, concrete leveling, and downspout extensions. It's Stratum. Let them know you're a Ryan Kelly Morning After listener. You get $100 off your repair project. 314-620-8153. Stratum Structural Systems. And think about it. What do you think?
Okay.
Before we get to email, can I thank somebody?
Oh, sure.
Just a shout out and a thank you to Brian Kunderman and the boys at the Billikens for dropping off some swag to us.
Oh, they did, yeah. Hats and shirts.
They dropped us off some
Very
boxes
nice.
with some Billiken stuff in it, so thank you. That was nice of you.
It is a lovely gesture, Doug.
Yeah.
Go
Madison
Bills.
got me a 3-game SLU pack for Christmas, so I have 3 games coming up.
Really?
And I can wear the swag. I love SLU. I think that whole university, how their athletic department treat the media.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 3-game drink pack that Doug and I were thinking about going in. It's the Abilene Christian, New Mexico State, and Louisiana Tech game they're doing down in
Buy one, get 2 free.
It's called the We Go to Bowl Games pack.
Yeah, that's the dump truck trifecta.
Mm-hmm.
Plaza, can you find me down?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Here goes Jackson again. Hey, why don't you pour it? At this point, it's 9:49, and it's time to have yourself a fistful of bourbon.
And it's 7 degrees. Warm yourself up.
Might as well. Utilizing knowledge learned from the longest-serving malt master in the history of whiskey, our master blender has married 5 straight bourbons into one beautiful bottle. Flavors of honey, creamy vanilla, and the delicate light spices of cinnamon and nutmeg will invade our mouth hole. It'll always taste damn fine neat and make one hell of a cocktail. It ain't just a bourbon, it's a damn fistful. Imported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York. Don't be a damn fool. Enjoy it responsibly. That's Fistful of Bourbon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time.
I need a drink to get through all these celebrity deaths that are piling.
Yeah, Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson has died now. Meatloaf. Man, it's been a rough year already. You think how many have gone?
Yeah,
just
Betty,
in the first
then
3 weeks.
Bob Saget. Yeah, a ton this week.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, Tim.
I didn't mean to kill the mood, but we are a news source first and foremost.
I wouldn't.
We're the local version of the United Press International.
I agree with that part.
You hear Jackson typing back there.
Yeah,
What do you think he's doing?
It's a wire. He's working the wires.
Yeah, he's breaking stories.
Time for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Woo! TMA training manual. Step 1, test board and audio.
Yeah.
Step 2, if board and audio doesn't work correctly, please grab an artificial intelligence machine called a Geno. Step 3, if no Geno machine is within a 5-mile radius, just leave everything as is. Step 4, do not ask the senile senior intern for assistance.
Nope.
He does not know how to fix anything and will not learn it to stick to his if there's a problem, don't figure it out life credo. Step 5, wait until lovely weekly guest, the senior intern has already pissed off once this week, is trying to get connected, and then inform the listening audience you've neglected to correct the problem. Step 6, have junior shift supervisor wing it and correct on the fly while board op swallows an 800-calorie Otis Spunkmeyer product.
Is he watching it? Well, we're on YouTube. He sees it all, yeah.
Step 7, proceed like nothing happened. Step 8, repeat. Thanks, that's from Los Wien.
Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Step 8, the key for that.
Ahoy. Wow, wow, wow. Holy guacamole. Jeez, oh, Pete. What a gaggle of hot takes. This ma'am, I mean. Speaking of that, congrats on your first cluster of days at the new joint. One main thing Homeboy can take away from your respective performances at the new digs, that Jackson must be able to hammer away about 166 words per minute on that old school typewriter. Wowee, he's got fleet fingers. Further, here's a hot tip for your weekend. There's a Lil Taco joint up Benland Way. B-E-N-L-D. Well, how would you pronounce that, Doug?
B-E-N-L-D?
Yeah.
Benland
Way? They make one hell of a chorizo burrito. You're welcome. How do you do? Concerns, thoughts, no fool, and that's Lefty Jack Smear.
Lefty Jack Smear.
Here's a fun story. My wife asked me to install a bidet attachment to our toilet last weekend. I went to public school, but I'm a coach, not a plumber. As soon as I turned the water back on, the toilet started to leak almost immediately. After a trip to the hardware store for supplemental parts, I got all the leaks fixed, and the job was truly finished. The problem I face now is that I've taken 3 sick days in a row because I just can't stop using this bidet.
Oh.
The pressure, the sensation, that tickling, the endless stream of pleasure. I just sit there and let the H2O pulverize my prostate.
Oh.
Additionally, if any walrus fan pinners want to come over and give it a try, just let me know. You can use my wife's bidet for free, but I would like to watch as that jet stream hits your dirty boy hole in just the right spot. Full disclosure, my father-in-law, Vic, will probably be there, too. He also likes to watch. I bet this month's water bill is going to be higher than Willie Nelson at Woodstock. That's from the JV golf coach.
JV golf coach.
Bidets are like the gateway to enemas.
Doug, is that correct?
You start with the
Is that
bidet.
their slogan?
I guess it could be, and maybe.
Gentlemen, good morning. How great is it to be in a new office with a new team of employees who will be most remembered by listeners and colleagues for sticking around for far too long. The dedication to allowing their early talents atrophy after landing such exclusive interviews, such as rural Alabama YouTuber with a whopping 40 subscribers wielding dual talents in both terrible Australian accents and whispering into a microphone. Or how about the groundbreaking conversation with the 18-year-old high school dropout living off his book-buyback money and his underage girlfriend sleeping on a cot behind Miami-Dade Correctional Facility? I don't know anyone in the business nowadays willing to tackle the controversial line of questioning he fired off like, "So, Kai, you're on boats and stuff a bunch. Uh-huh. So, what are the girls like there, and how late were you out partying with Juju baby last night?" Goosebumps, guys. Literal goosebumps. There's something charming in this stubborn old school ways about it and his total inability to adapt to any changes in his workflow since 2010 or so. Calls from England? Well, that ain't going to happen because of long distance dialing, which hasn't been a thing since the 90s, but somehow continues to plague this show with the veracity of Jennings' bout with whooping cough. Being at your workstation on time? Sorry, but those locked hallway doors aren't going to jiggle their own handles. Plus, I got to smoke and fill up my coffee bowl. He's weathered nearly every obstacle the radio business has thrown at him, from his vaguely beige Buick Lementhal disintegrating in real time, with him in the driver's seat during morning rush hour on a highway like a final scene from an Avengers movie, to the time he was forced to miss this White Whale podcast sit-down with Learn because his ragtag gang of Depression-era grade school friends held a midday luncheon at Fazoli's and demanded he be there, despite his boss insisting several times that he make himself available. Sure, police officers, teachers, and nurses get a lot of praise, but I think far past the day when morning drive time radio producers get their due. Thank you. That's from Vishnu and Randy character Pips Up, Hose Down. Doug, that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day.
There were some lines in that one.
Oh, my goodness.
Good lines. I had Carlos Spicy Wiener checked off, but I think he got trumped by Vishnu and Randy character. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to go with the spicy wiener until I just pictured myself sitting in the front seat of my car and looking around and nothing there but a steering wheel and a seat.
Disintegrating in real time is a great
Yeah, I'm going to go with Vishnu.
Vishnu has yet another win, Doug. I mean, it's his domination. Is that 8, Jackson?
I don't know.
Jackson's already a balloon party hosting. I'm late.
He's teaching.
I bet he wrapped it up already.
And he may get a prize.
Mathematically, he is in position to clinch early next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
No, yeah, you're right, Iggy. It'll be the 24th when we're back. And I may not, on Monday, I don't know if I'll be here. We may have a baby on Monday. We may have a baby on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Who knows? But either way, just as a heads up on that for fun and games. All right, boys, that'll wrap it up. The weekend is here. Plowhawk, for Pick 6 purposes, I hope the Packers get the job done.